the thing that I have noted when I've seen them after matches, Karrigan and Twistzz like debriefing about the game, you can see that like Twistzz coming back in, like he has 2 IC status over there. I know Karrigan's spoken about that, having this second voice, but you can really see that relationship. And it's something that I know from talking to Twistzz, that the level of respect and admiration that he has for Karrigan as a leader, like, it is immense. It's the most out of any leader he's ever played with.
Ever wanted to try Refrag? Well, now you can. For the viewers of HLTV Confirmed, you can claim a 1-week free trial for the world's best CS2 training platform, letting you try out all of our features, like the Refrag Coach, which will analyze your games and give you a personalized training plan. You can also try out Challenger, an all-new game mode, which will test your retake abilities in realistic in-game scenarios. Try Refrag today for free using the link in the description.
You're a CS player and you won a major. It's not something people can take away from you, you know?
No matter what would have happened in that tournament, I'm glad I got benched.
It's just hard, you know, like when I look back at this image, all I see is that I failed.
When Device decided to quit the team, that was like the nail in the coffin.
Okay, this is where I want to be, this is where my place should be.
You know, if I could trade in all the trophies, just have my father back, and that would be a fair trade.
Hi guys, get ready with me this morning. It's going to be stage bloody. Oh, the microphone. All right, no, but seriously, guys, we got to do my hair. I got to go in. We got 2 hours today, right? So first thing, we're going to start with a bit of sea salt spray, right? So you want to get that right in here. You want to make sure that you're getting a good amount of texture. Now, ideally, if you could let it dry with the air, that'd be good. And we've got time, all right? So we're just going to kind of push it back through the hair, and we're going to let it just soak in. That's going to add some texture, right? So this is my sea salt brand of choice. But welcome to my Get Ready With Me channel. Anyway, last time we did an episode here at HLTV Confirmed. Good morning. I was well-rested, moisturized in my fucking lane. Today, I'm buzzing off of 5 hours sleep, the crazy crack cocaine of the Counter-Strike that was getting injected into my veins last night. Going to bed, the heart's pumping. I wake up, I got to have breakfast. I got to get ready. We got to go in. Today, I'm going to be doing a desk segment for the first time since like fucking the last Starlight Major. So people, don't fucking miss it. Today's going to be the day, all right? Look at the energy. Guys, I'm telling you this too. Next year, I'm more locked in than ever. I'm fucking back. I don't know what's happened, but I'm back. Maybe temporarily, maybe forever, but who the fuck knows? Shout out to our sponsors. That is going to be Kick. We're exclusive there. Shout out to Steak. And of course, don't forget Refrag. We'll be jumping into some leaderboards to see how Strike has been trending there. Gentlemen, is everyone as excited as I am? Or do you hate me for making you get up so early in the morning?
This is way too much energy. Like last time I woke up at like 8 just to make sure, you know, I have some time to wake up. This time I just needed more sleep, and I looked at the clock at 9:20 and I remembered we have confirmed. So this is going to be a high energy episode for me.
I'm bringing it and I'll inject it into your veins.
Good. Thank you very much. Last episode, Lucas was talking before we went live, and I wanted to murder him. The classic like morning rage of people talking too much. Today, I didn't listen to him, so it was fine. But you're on the desk chat. Does that mean
neutral, my guy?
Thank you. You did join the TeamSpeak 5 minutes before going live, so it's all good.
You saved one another, really.
All good. You're doing a desk.
Yeah.
That means that NPL finally got Pimp fired.
Pimp did get fired based on NPL's comments. So
yes, okay.
It was sad news that I woke up to this morning. But you know, we have to do what we have to do around here. And a talent manager in Saudi Arabia once said, "We leave all men behind." So shout out to that guy. I think he got fired. Not really what a talent manager should be doing. So
is this and the women?
Well, that I don't know. We didn't have any on the talent team, Prof. So
maybe the Star Wars meme.
That was the men before.
The women.
Well, the men's, which
the children too.
The men's is all of us, right? We're all the men's.
But the NPL comment was so good, but because it literally felt like that segment you do on ESL broadcast where you read HLTV comments. it literally felt like he just opened a thread. Pimp, worst analyst. What the fuck is this guy doing on a desk? It literally sounded straight from the forums, and I love it because of that.
Yeah, well, that was one way to end the day yesterday. It was quite a few best of threes on that B stream that were all qualification games, but not elimination games. They were all good, like the NIP versus fucking PARIVISION game, Jame coming in clutch. A lot of good moments, but we're going to get to that. First things first, we're going to get through some recent news topics, and then we'll get into talking about the major. Again, if you are just joining us and you weren't here last week, doing this because the media day schedules come out a little bit later from StarLadder, so we can't really plan for the off day. And in terms of me having to go in and do some commentary or desk work like it will be today, I have to go in before my call time. So unfortunately, everybody, that's why it's so early. So I apologize if the time zone doesn't quite fit you at home and when you would like to watch, but you can check out on YouTube and the VODs after and point at us and go, haha, you guys are wrong and idiots.
Also Spotify.
And Spotify.
Audio-only listeners.
Yeah.
Don't forget about them.
Spotify. Now, someone in chat says, I look tired. I am tired. So what an astute observation from you, dickhead. I don't mean it. I'm just tired. I'm sorry. I love you. Okay. Let's get cracking, shall we? Into the recent news. We're going to be heading down now. We've brought in lead VRS correspondent, top 3 in the nation and the world, some could say. But as far as Planet Earth is concerned, diving right into Striker now. Striker, the Blast Bounty VRS invites have hit the Counter-Strike scene. What are the ramifications of this over and out?
Well, we don't know yet because we don't know if they're actually going to invite all top 32. So like some of these edge cases like an NIP who's 929, just barely on the edge, right? If they're going to make it in or not. I think they will because last time I think they just replaced it with 4 global invites anyway, and they did just invite top 32. Maybe there's going to be like 100 Thieves, like wild card situation going on if they put together a team fast enough. That could be interesting. Maybe that would just fuck over the number 32 team or whatever. But I mean, yeah, I mean there was the whole case with what's their name? What's her? Yeah, Eyeballers that they didn't make it by like 0.03 or 0.3 VRS points. Yeah, pretty unlucky stuff.
Yeah, JW and Peter out there trying to stake their claim in the Counter-Strike world for why they deserve an invite. It shows you how much people want to play an online qualifier to start the year, doesn't it? Right? Like, this is the thing. In terms of like actual points and everything along those lines, you could go and you could play that and you could just lose. If you Blast, at least you don't have to fly them from... Well, actually, Blast don't fly them anyway. Never mind. I retract my statement. They'll be in Europe, at least. Do we expect any... I don't think anybody's in a position to be denying any invites, right? Like, I think we had the Mongols do it at the start of last year.
Right.
But otherwise, teams aren't really in a position to be doing that unless they don't want to travel from the other side of the world or they don't have the resources. Well, hold up. You're going to say like the top dogs do, but the top dogs want those fucking frequent flyer points,
of course.
They want to cash in.
Yeah. That's
the Falcons already
story.
dipped out of that last year.
Yeah.
True.
No one's talking about Falcons. No one ever talks about Falcons. It's always me being like, guys, let's talk about Falcons. Everyone's forgetting about them.
Right.
What about the latest semifinal? It's not that good. And everyone's just like, no, it's calm. Doesn't matter. They're just a good team.
To be fair, I think in this case, because it is the first, it's not like the last season where it was the second event this is the first event into the season. I think it's like a good soft entry for everybody. So I think there's no real reason for you to say no to a tournament that you're maybe mostly going to play online and then go to Malta for 4 days. Like, why not? Honestly.
The weather will be better than anywhere else in Europe, I'll tell you that much. You can come to my house.
Well, yeah. There you go.
I don't know what you'll do at my house, but you can come. I'll be there.
Yeah, I would be surprised if anybody said no, to be honest, just because of that. And what you were saying, of course. I mean, anybody outside of like the top 10, they have no business saying no to these things.
And now that they have the invite to my house, they definitely won't say no.
Yeah.
You can't say down to 2 invites.
Consider
2 invites.
Yeah. They're like tied, right? If you don't come to Malta, then you can't come to mine, but if you do, you can. So it's one of those things, a wombo combo. So realistically, if we're going to sink our teeth into this, what is the news? Is it news?
I mean, it is and it isn't. I guess it's mostly the eyeballer story is interesting. Just you trying to use like the public to get that wild card.
Isn't that what it's about, though? Isn't that what the wild card is kind of about? Like, isn't that so Blast always had the way to backdoor in and go, oh, this is a popular team, or this is a team of a big org, or this is a team that got put together of exciting pieces. Isn't that the whole point of the wild card?
In some ways, yes. In many ways, maybe in all ways, you could say yes. I mean, Blast is actually winning quotation marks, by getting this exposure about their tournament a month before their tournament, which is not even like it's their least cool tournament that they have, right? So it's a good bit of little promotion for the event. Will they recognize that or not, and share the invite? That's one thing. Also, I mean, also the idea that, you know, eyeballers are 33rd on the ranking by 0.3 points, but then like 30 minutes later they were 32nd. Just shows how, like, to some degree the ranking is arbitrary, and the moment when that update comes out is very, does it mean, you know, are you a better team or are you a worse team? The fact that it is kind of a wild card thing opens it up for Blast to be like, actually, we think this team is better than this team, and just invite them like that. So
yeah, but if it's like, I understand if it was like some like high profile name, right? But I'm not necessarily sure that they will see
JW.
That. Yeah, but do you want to kick out Imperial for eyeballers, for example, like the Brazilian numbers? I guess not that one at least. So like, do you kick out somebody else?
Stay through the major, baby. Don't know. There's names in the mix. You can take FlyQuest out. We'll talk about them later. All right, let's keep moving. So
you can't actually, because they're top 28 or whatever.
Shut up with your logics tracker. It's too early for that. All right, guys, so we're going to continue to get ready with me. So what I want to do, because it's early and you might be a 36-year-old man like me, you might be a bit puffy. So I want you to be doing a bit of the gua sha. Now, first thing you got to do is you want to tap here on the... I'm joking. But no, then after the hair is dried with this ESOL, I would like to move into a bit of a powder wax here. Now, you're just going to sprinkle a bit of this in, right? And this is going to add even a bit more texture. It's just a little bit that's coming into the hair. Now, don't use too much because it can dry out the scalp. So I would recommend washing your hair after this. But then you're just going to work this through with your fingers. Going to leave it a little bit more. But this will add a bit of texture, give you a bit of volume, and you'll be able to start from there. Okay, back into the video. We're going to be jumping into the EPL changes. Now, season 24? 25.
24 is next. 23 is the next one, no?
24 then. Season 24. That's when the changes for EPL have been announced. Now, for those people who are the uninitiated, the next season of EPL 23 will have the group stages online. But the good news is it'll be returning to LAN for the playoffs being 8 teams. Now, there is a change into season 24. They will be running the event as a wildcard event, which ESL compared to Blast actually can do based on the rules. Haha.
Yep.
And the only...
Biased, of course.
Hardly, mate. Just fucking facts. This is the thing. I'm only working with the cold, hard facts. The VRS, the TOR, it's the law. And I'm just a man speaking the law right now. But regardless, it's a wildcard event. It's going to be reduced from a 24-team event down to a 16-team event. 12 teams will come from the global VRS invites, and then 4 teams will come from different regional qualifiers, which is a bit more traditional with the EPL branding, right? And that's been the case for them for a long time. You know, you can work your way up through certain leagues. Oceania does get a massive punch in the gut. But if you look at Oceania's results in EPL over the years, you could justify it there. So I think it's a bit sad. I'm not sure if there's a mechanism for them to be able to go play in Asia. That would be something that could, like, if they choose to spend the money to go play in the Asian qualifier, then maybe. But anyway, I digress. I'm moving a little bit too far away. That will be all LAN, right? 16 teams, all LAN. The footprint now of EPL is going to be reduced to about 10 play days, I think it is. It'll be an 8-team playoff as well. That'll be going down in the Spodek. And it'll just be like a PGL Bucharest or PGL Astana format, essentially, with the Swiss, right? So in terms of what people can expect out of EPL, that's going to be the changes for season 24. But I would imagine as we continue to mature and learn about the landscape, ESL will continue to change things, right? This is one of the unique things, right? So whatever the rules are or how they can tweak them or what they see other TOs do or what Valve make as allowances, continue to see probably some of those changes. Striker, did I hit the nail on the head right there with those changes? Because I was just going off of those by memory.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much covers it. Obviously, the reduction to 16 teams is kind of a key one, and it just speaks to ESL maybe not necessarily thinking that the first stage is so valuable anymore. It wasn't already before, as if you didn't notice from like the move online of both of those Swiss stages, they probably didn't think even that was that valuable, you know, because obviously everybody's talking about LAN points, but now LAN points are on offer everywhere, so it's not that important. Even that is not that important, you know. So it just doesn't offer enough in the VRS for it to be interesting, and then obviously, you know, maybe the stage 1 also doesn't have the viewership to warrant a whole extra LAN stage, you know, a lot of additional resources, you know, invested into that. So I guess that's the thinking there.
Yeah, I think for me, right, it'll bring some prestige back to the event. Like people who have been watching Pro League over the last, I guess it's 4 to 6 seasons now.
I mean, essentially since COVID, right?
Well, yeah, but that was forced, right? But then coming out of COVID into the Malta decisions, right? Obviously, there was the Seleni one. That was a fucking catastrophe. And then from there, moving into something a little bit more laid back, which is what we've been doing. We're very skit-driven and a bit more relaxed and not so many death segments, more just like game-focused stuff or content to fill the breaks to keep people locked and doing all those tri-casts. So if I imagine I'll be there working it, which would be great. I do enjoy doing EPL. But from this angle, I think people can expect a change in atmosphere and vibe. Maybe not for the first season because the first portion is going to be teams online. So we're brainstorming some ideas of how we can extrapolate the most value out of those players while they're not on site. But then when we do move into season 24 and everything's a bit more land focused, probably keep a bit more of, some of the features of EPL that keep it a bit more fun and different because you want to make sure that your broadcast looks different from other broadcasts, especially if you run multiple products like ESL do. But then with playoffs in Arena, that's going to bring EPL back to where it should be because I have very fond memories of Odense, of Astralis, right? In, about 3,000 people there going nuts watching their team play. Arena Counter-Strike in an intimate fashion. I think Raw, right, is what I would like to attest to something like EPL. Give people a peek behind the curtain, kind of treat it like, not like an old school LAN, but try and give as much of that vibe as possible. So I'm happy to see these changes coming through. Obviously, again, it's not great that Oceania loses spot. People are going to sit and say, oh, they're downsizing even more. But, how many other TOs are running events on LAN with 24 plus teams? It's not common unless it's the fucking major. I think no one is. No one.
Just Cologne, Cologne and Katowice, right?
Yeah.
Krakow.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that EPL would be in that category. Oh, it's like Cologne, Katowice, 2 majors, and EPL. Like, why is EPL there? Like, why?
That's one of the branding things that they legitimately used to run with, Prof. Like internally, they like to go, well, this is the biggest. That's what when you have such a broad company, you look for anything that could be distinctive. Like it's like Cologne and Katowice were the prestige events, right? And then you look to, it's like, come on, guys, let's just put on a good event, shall we? We don't need to have all these taglines attested. Anybody wants to say about EPL?
No, that's good.
Cool.
Going back to Spodek, which we already knew from before, so.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Okay. Right now, we have correspondent Prof, not Swedish, but may as well be on the line. Prof, now over in Sweden, over the course of the last week and a bit, there's been a lot of Counter-Strike action going on. Were you able to get your eyes, real eyes, not computer screen eyes, on the DreamHack knockout down there in Svenska?
I absolutely have been able to do that. I will also send one picture to Lucas who can bring it up. It's going to be on Discord. That's the only way I can send it. I was there. It was quite a sight. It was quite a vibe. The whole DreamHack experience. First of all, people saw probably the tweet from Coolio from Foot, who was like, How is this tournament VRS ranked? Yeah. And people are like, oh, what's going wrong? This is a photo with Gizmy from Monte, the winner of the DreamHack knockout. Absolute legendary lad.
The Gizmodo Dragon.
Yeah, some could call him that. But Monte came out on top in the environment that was like a rave being played in the background. No light, no admins around you. Everything's getting delayed. But that is a BYOC. That is literally what you signed up for. It's kind of in the name. And this is a lad that goes to Epic Lands. He felt right at home. He was fucking ready for it, and they won. That's kind of how the cookie crumbled. I went to check out a bit of OG. OG were playing there with Katie and Flamus. They got the semifinal. They had some decent runs, overall. Saw Kakafu is now with Monte. Used to be with OG, got that grudge match win. That came pretty close in the end. So I spent just 2 maps just standing behind OG, kind of watching old school LAN vibes, which is also funny because with me was the whole Foot team who were supposed to play them if they won. And they're just 5 guys standing behind these 5 guys, just let's see what they're doing on Mirage. What's the call here from Cadian?
You can hear the comms,
But you can't really do anything about it, right? It's just... That's just how BYOCs...
open line vibes, yeah.
That's how BYOCs work, and people can complain about it, but it's just different. It's just you go to a shit football field somewhere. You just need to adapt to the conditions that are there. This is not a major. This is not, you know, a prestige event, but it is a stepping stone. Not everything needs to be perfect conditions for everything. That's at least my opinion there.
Okay, well that's an opinion that I'm sure most will disagree with, Prof. But look,
I don't. I like it. I
Yeah,
like
More
it.
best of ones, Chad.
look, I've got some more hot takes coming about that a little bit later.
Yeah, okay.
But
But it was cool. I saw so many cool people after. Obviously, there's an after party at O'Leary's, as it has to be.
Oh,
Doesn't
my
matter
God.
where you are in DreamHack, any DreamHack in the world, it's going to be an O'Leary's. It's just spawning there like a fucking, I don't know.
But it's not that same one, I guess.
No, I mean this was in Stockholm, so this was literally just down the road from here.
No, I meant the one from the one we were there for the major.
Yes, it was the same one.
Oh,
It was
okay,
the same
cool.
one.
That's
And
so
funnily
cool.
enough, I saw Amanek there, who was like 3 years before in that same place. He was a major finalist. Now he defeated Big with his team, and I came across Cirque, and I spoke to Cirque, and I don't know, Beamas. Obviously, he was also he's in Monte now. Beamas is like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I got this a lot of times. It's a classic Swedish situation when I'm at an event, but it was good.
I think that the grassroots, well, not the grassroots, but I guess more of that element. That's one side of this. The other is Monte qualify for EPL.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of connected to the EPL thing. But that they also realized that they're playing online, and the next season is LAN, so they're like, "Fuck, now we need to play online again." I was like, "Lads, I'm pretty sure you're accustomed to that. That's your stage."
Actually, that's true. It is the environment where you can potentially do your best work. It is a bit of a shame. I think it's something that I think ESL have definitely recognized they need to move back on if you want to have relevancy in the VRS world, right? So only one season of it being shit like that, and then back to normality. Now, I do believe correspondent Lucas has found a picture also from a BYOC land. Here it is. These are the type of vibes, guys. This was 2013, so we're back to that 12 years later. They're doing a BYO. This was DreamHack Jönköping 2013, which is exactly what Prof's talking about. Here we got put in front of the stage because our owner of our org at the time, we didn't even know what DreamHack fucking Jönköping was. Put us in the main hall because he thought, yeah, it'd be a good experience. We're playing matches with headsets that don't even have boom mics, and the DJ's going off. So this is it, guys. We roll back the years, BYOC events. We're playing on pallets. Look at the chairs we were on. But that's just a throwback because I think it was yesterday or the day before was 12 years since Fnatic won the first ever CSGO major back in DreamHack Jönköping winter, 2013, all that jazz. So, yeah, okay.
This was a major qualifier. Just again, what you're playing there was a major and not like a major qualifier and then like in 6 months you go to the major. No, you play the major next day. You finish like 2 a.m. playing the BYOC. You're playing tomorrow, like I don't know, 9, 10, 11. You're playing the major. That was kind of goated. And you lost to Cadian? No.
Yeah.
And potentially maybe yes, maybe not cheater.
No, he wasn't cheating. I'll let Robin off the hook. You know, he got banned for something else. It was either like H1Z.
Oh yeah. That was Robin. That was so long ago.
I think AZ was there as well. Okay, great, everybody. Let's jump into the next piece of news, which isn't news. It's Skinionaire. Now, if you were here last week, you know that I need you to type a word into chat if you would like to enter the draw for your opportunity to win a skin that we're about to battle for. It's going to be multiple choice, 5 questions. Everyone we get right moves the slider up. Now, if you don't know that code name, you could just follow everybody else in the chat. Lucas is mumbling. Lucas, does that mean we're not ready? You can have 1 minute. We'll go to Skinionaire in a second. We'll come back to that. I want everyone just to keep that in the back of their mind. We'll jump into, unless this Skinionaire was about Impact, was it?
It was. Of course it was. But
That's
you can.
fine.
It's not a big problem. It's not a big, we can do it after as well.
Oh, he only needs 30 seconds. Okay, well, now we know. So we'll just flick between the news icons. Look at it. And everyone is typing. Now, you might have to retype, guys. It's early. Give Lucas a chance. Give us a chance. Give everybody a chance.
Give
right?
love a chance.
It's great. We all love chances. And, you know, with a chance comes an opportunity. And with opportunity comes me filling. And me filling will eventually lead us to the picture of me and Aaron again. And who wants to be a Skinionaire? There it is. Right? Epidermis Association, or another 2 words like that put together in Kick Chat right now for your opportunity to enter the draw. The questions being about Impact and me barely being awake right now, I don't want to answer these. So, Striker,
okay,
you and I are going to do this together.
That's going to be interesting.
You and I are going to do our best because that's all we can ever do.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into it. Question numero uno.
It's not
How
gonna be
many
that hard, I
times was
think.
Anna Women's Player of the Year? How many
3 or
awards
4.
have you run?
The same number.
3. It's
Striker
3.
Striker knows this. This is an
It's
easy
3.
one.
Okay, I'm going to lock in 3.
All right,
If
that's
you're
the
wrong,
sex-
Striker, the police are coming. I can
The
fucking hear 'em.
sexist police is already
They're
coming.
already here. You're wrong, Striker. It's fucking over for you, bro.
No, it's not.
See, it's getting louder. It must be wrong. All right, we locked in 3. Correct answer is 3. Okay, moving on to question 2. Who of the following has the most
Ooh.
maps on HLTV? Hunker,
Oh.
23, or Vilga? Has to be
It's
Vilga,
gotta
right?
be Vilga, right?
Has to be Vilga.
It's gotta be.
Unless...
I think it's gotta be Vilga.
Yeah, but you know that Dimitri loves these fucking trick questions.
Like, it's not
You
just,
know.
even if, especially if it's not just, well, did she play 1.6? She did, no?
Fucking
I'm pretty
know,
sure.
bro. All I know
But
is
that
Dimitri.
probably doesn't, that probably doesn't
Doesn't.
count anyway, but it's gotta be Vilga. She's been around forever.
All right, I'm locking in Vilga. Correct answer is C, Vilga. All right. That's 2 from 2. We're happy with that. I want to remind everybody, type the code word in Kick right now if you want to enter the draw for what could be a $50 skin. If we get there, I'll be bloody surprised. I'll
What
say
if the
that
same
much.
guy wins again? What are we
Let's
doing?
go, Crawley.
If he
The good
wins,
thing- the good thing
we need
about
to double
Impact
it.
is the good thing about Impact is you don't actually have to remember that much because it's only twice. Like, you know, the
True.
season finals are only twice a year, and
Yeah, but
it's not
bro,
so bad.
I couldn't watch any of the games. I was fucking
Yeah,
doing the
I
major.
didn't,
Like,
I didn't watch a single game.
I know
either
the big
this year.
one. I know the big one.
Yeah.
I know they won over NIP. I can tell you that much. That's all I can
Right.
tell you.
Maybe
all
that's
right.
going to be a question later.
I know that FlyQuest Red botted out more than the normal FlyQuest team, or maybe equally as bad. All right, next question. How many Impact seasons did Enigma Galaxy Imperial Valkyries win?
I think it's got to be 6, no? Or is it too many? So it's 8 now, and they lost the last 2. It's got to be 6.
Quick math.
Yeah,
Math is math.
So it's been this was season 8, right? And they only lost this year. Like this year is the first time that they lost these, so
Yes.
it must be 6.
Yeah, it was it MIBR who won in Dallas earlier
Yeah.
in the year?
Yeah.
That might be the
so.
next. That might
Look
be
so.
the last question.
So, okay.
That
we'll
might
lock
be
it.
the last.
No, is it MIBR? This.
Just lock in. Lock in
Doesn't
the
matter.
answer.
Lock it in
Fucking
6. Correct answer is 6. Okay. All right, everyone take a breath. All right? Everyone take a fucking breath. I don't want
Calm
people I don't want people to be getting, you know,
Clear
too
comms.
stressed
Clear
out.
comms, guys.
We need to make sure that everyone is keeping a cool head about this, okay? Everyone needs to keep a cool head. You in chat, me and Striker answering the questions, everybody in the universe right now who's thinking about this. Everybody needs to stay calm. And if you're not staying calm, I don't know what you're doing, okay? Stay calm. Let's go into the next question. Question number 4. Giuliano was last seen playing for Nemesis Impact, Imperial Valkyries, Big Equipper. I'm pretty sure it was Big.
No, she's a Nemesis.
Not anymore. She's going back to Valorant, bruh.
It's Nemesis.
But she was in Big, right?
But that's before that.
Well, yeah, that's how the answer would work. But I'm just making sure that she was in Big.
She
All right.
was in
She
big.
was.
Yes.
She was. Yeah.
She was in big.
Thank God Striker's here. Lock it in Nemesis Impact. Correct answer is Nemesis Impact. Was there even a non-Nemesis? Like, was there an...
Yeah, but I
What
think
if-
it's like super random.
Okay.
What do you mean the male team?
Well, why would they be called Nemesis Impact if there wasn't just like a
that's
Nemesis?
a team with Crucial, I think, right?
Yes, of course. Okay. Question 5.
Yeah.
Stressful this morning, everybody. Okay. Who won EPL Impact Season 7? Big Equipper, Furia, Imperial
Oh, so
Valkyrie.
it's-
I made
All right,
slight change
that
from
makes it
Dimitri.
easy. That makes it easy.
Thank you, Lucas.
It's Furia female.
Yeah.
Bro literally took my note and put it as an answer. I love it. I love it.
All right. Locking in
It's Furia.
Furia female. Correct answer is Furia female. Confetti comes teaming down from the skies. The sparklers go off. They actually light the confetti on fire, but somebody still wins a $50 skin. Isn't that fantastic? We're going to draw our winner. Now, if it is Crawley, I'm going to say that this is rigged. I will agree with all of you in chat. I will agree. It is rigged. And there's one man you can blame for rigging it, and his name is Lucas. He does the draw. I just read the questions.
FlyQuest
right.
Mats wins.
Oh, Fly Mats.
Wins. Let's go.
Fly Mats. Wow. Good job, Flymats. Congratulations. Our people will reach out to your people. We'll get you the value of the $50 skin in whichever way we do. And we will sort you out there. So congratulations. That's Who Wants to Be a Skinionaire concluded for another week. All right. Let's keep on moving. So ESL Impact concludes. That's the reason that the Skinionaire was just about ESL Impact. It has been discontinued. It will not be going forward into 2026. That is the headline. Prof, again, this was going down in Sweden, but did you get any opportunity to see what was going on with Impact?
Yeah, I mean, I spent more time there than at the BYSC.
Okay.
Because obviously it's absolutely dog to watch the BYSC, except if you're standing behind someone. But, you know, as this was coming to a conclusion, it just felt like a thing to witness. And it was a thing to witness. There's a lot of pressure. You could see everyone was fucking stressed out. People played not their best Counter-Strike. Everyone was fucking crying. You win, you cry. You lose, you cry. And just the atmosphere of this being over and not knowing what's going to happen next year, it was quite sad. I think it was sad, but also, like, you know, as Astra said, happy that happened, but it's also fucking rough to not know anything about what's happening next year. So I think that's a state that all the players and the teams had, is like, okay, this is our last shot to actually win this thing. I think Vilga, for example, definitely had higher expectations from like NIP Impact. I mean, the FlyQuest team as well, that has been CLG Red before, that hasn't really had.
Why are they always bad on LAN, bro?
I have no idea. Like they dominate in NA, they come to LAN,
the
and
definition of onliners.
Yeah, it's quite rough. So, you know, just chatting to people, it was a thing to witness. I was glad to be there in a way, you know, take some photos and stuff like that.
Okay,
so.
Not glad for it to end, but glad to take part of what was. So obviously this initiative is trying to bring more women into our space, right? Which I think is a good thing. I think that people who get quite guarded, and I see some of the arguments, right? We're not going to get into them today. There's absolutely no need for any of that. But I think what it all boils down for me is, if you love Counter-Strike, I think you should want to share that. So you shouldn't be closed off based on anybody's gender, right? You would want to have as many people involved in the thing that we all love, that we spend a lot of time watching, consuming, playing, reading about, taking part of. And if an initiative like this was able to give more visibility to women and bring more women and girls into Counter-Strike as they grow up, then, you know, that's what we're hoping for. I think everybody, whether you're a female Counter-Strike player or a male Counter-Strike player, you want there to be a world that we live in where, you know, we have women competing at the biggest events alongside of men, not just necessarily and exclusively women teams, right? So we'll see what happens in the future. You know, I've heard some rumblings of people trying to work on things in the back end. Obviously, it's difficult to find that level of resources. But leagues like this, if, you know, it's a tough decision, I would imagine, for ESL to have to make, but because they're having to let go of people, they're having to cut budgets on things,
it's hard to justify keeping this. I mean, the thing is, like, first, as generally competitive sports having like women's divisions, if you look at football or whatever, that is being paid by UEFA, FIFA, or whatever. The company that owns the product, the sport, essentially, quotation mark. You can't really own it, but you kind of do, right?
Well, yeah,
because they
do, don't they? Yeah.
They want to have more players, more teams, more people to, you know, more games to be watched. They just want to grow the sport. And if you're just like, oh, if we just include women now, which is like half of the world, we'll have more people that can play, watch, enjoy this, you know, competitive discipline. So that's objectively a good thing. The problem here is that ESL does not own Counter-Strike. So for them to be pushing this, it's not even their direct benefit. It's more like a general kind of benefit for them, but also for everyone else in Counter-Strike. So it's not really fair for it to all be on them. But, you know, they pushed it, they got it somewhere, and now we're in a spot where, like, well, let's hope it somehow organically continues developing, because that's the only way Valve does it. Because realistically, it should, if you compare it to like in Valorant, where it is, I would say, a better, more established product, game changers, than it is here. It is because Riot pays for everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Well, esports is a marketing tool.
completely differently approach. So I don't know how to put it. I think the last thing I wanted to say on this is like, I'm kind of annoyed at how people complained about Impact so much. Even some of the players, when things wouldn't really go their way and they would have to cut some stuff, I feel like they would complain more than they'd celebrate it throughout these 4 years. And it's a classic example of people being ungrateful for what they have until it's gone. And now everyone's just like, this was the best thing ever. It's like, okay, did you actually support it when it was there? No. So shut the fuck up.
I think it's that's classic for everybody in almost anything they do, right? People have a tough time either finding the gratitude or seeing the forest for the trees for the cliches. But all right, let's move on, because again, I'm on a timer again. I do need to get out of here quick, and I want to make sure we have enough time to go over everything major related. Now, if you are just joining us, we are doing a partnership with Refrag over the course of the major. Actually, it could be longer than that, but during the major, there is this striker mode that's going on that you guys, if you either want to use the Refrag code, which is Prof. Sorry, man.
Confirmed. I was just looking at the chat. I was like, what the fuck is he asking me? Confirmed is the thing. And there's in chat and in the description of the channel, there's a click, and you just go there. And it's all sorted. Don't need to think. Just click.
Now, if you're unfamiliar with what Refrag is, it's essentially a training suite. Now, okay, we're doing Overpass this week, are we? It was Inferno when we did last episode. Is it?
We have Mirage, maps, right? Mirage, Overpass, and Ancient are the 3 maps that we have going on.
So this year, so I'll explain a little bit broader for people. If you do want to try out Refrag, essentially it's a tool where you can populate a server and you can do a whole bunch of different modes, right? This one right here is something there's a mixture, I guess, between like pre-fire and a
it's like everything together, basically, like defender, crossfire, pre-fire, all of it.
Now those are just terms, I guess, but when I say training suite, essentially these courses have been designed to help train elements of the game that isn't just you running around in a server and playing the 5v5, right? It's going to teach you how to make sure you have good crosshair placement. It's going to teach you, like in certain modes where util is flying your way, to be able to dodge them or turn them. Different swings to be expecting. You can even go into different modes like Nader. You can do these duels with your friends, right? You can go in servers and you set up and you can do that. There's a lot of different things that you're able to do. You can watch demos through this as well. So you can get everybody into the server to watch the demo, and you can lock the POVs. So you can, making sure that players who are in there are watching the POV that you want them to. So there's a lot of good elements to this, whether you're a casual, whether you're someone who takes it semi-seriously, wants to get better results to play your Premier games or your FaZe games, or if you're budding to be, a semi-professional or professional. I think Refrag's a great tool. I understand that we're sponsored by them now, but this is something that I've always been speaking highly of. And I got a little bit of a grudge against Casey Foster. So, I'm talking seriously right now. I'm not just talking out of my ass. So, yeah, if you guys are interested in this, I definitely would go give it a crack. It's a lot of fun, and it's good if you want to get better and not having to spend time doing hours of deathmatch. I think do deathmatch too. I think deathmatch is important, but do a bit of this and put yourself in a routine. When I get back in 2026, I'm going to be playing a lot more Counter-Strike. Maybe I'll put something out there of how I'm using Refrag, because I know like Stico and Elige and stuff like that, they have their warm-up routines as well that you can go and select. You can warm up like Elige, for example. So a lot of good stuff there. But this right now is just a bit of fun. So it's a leaderboard, give you a little bit more competitive things to do. And there's also going to be skins being given away as part of this leaderboard, if I'm correct. Is that bang on?
This is correct. Top 10 in each on each map, plus random skins for if you just played, you get into the raffle.
Okay. Nice.
Do we have some names? I can't read anything from this.
Anything from here either. Fucking laptop.
Let's see.
Let me see if I can make it bigger. Dude, it's too blurry. I can't read shit. And that's not my eyes.
Oh, I can go on. I can go on kick.
Lucas?
We got 8X, number 1 in Overpass. And Frodo Raka, Cetron. Okay. And if we go to Mirage, we have Frodo Raka again, Gamble, and 8X.
Okay.
And on Ancient, we will say Gamble, 8X, and Servo.
Okay.
A lot of the same people topping the charts.
Yeah, see, we got a guy in chat. Is one of the guys says he's sub 130. So, and he says the guy that's 10K rating on Premiere is number 1. So,
Wow. Okay.
what does that mean?
That means
Maybe
anyone
he-
can do it. Give it a go, guys. Get in
He
there.
doesn't play a lot of Premiere. That's what it means.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's cheaters all the time. You know how it is.
So just quickly, this is slightly off topic about the refrag thing. Someone says, can I practice face at knife rounds in this? My stack always lose them. Here's what I would like to say to knife rounds on face it. Okay, what I want you to envision with your teammates is, as you know that they're next to you, right? I want you guys to think that you're like a chain or a whip, right? And as you know, as you whip something, like it goes through that motion, right? You know, the arc. That's what I want you to be like with your knife, right? So like the first guy's going in, but you're right on his shoulder. You're not next to him. You're just behind him. So you know, that's what I want you guys to think about. You know, be like a whip. Be like a whip. It's like Smithers on The Simpsons on an episode. Crack that whip. Da-na-na-na-na. I'm a fucking boomer. All right, let's keep moving. Let's start talking about the major. Now, before we get there, we do have one of these giveaways that we love doing. We love giving away free things here at HLTV Confirmed. And if you've been paying attention in the last couple of episodes, we've been giving away a Vitality jersey to the top comment from the YouTubes. This week, we're giving away a signed Vitality jersey in the yellow variety by the Vitality players. Not signed by us, not signed by any Randys, by Vitality, who... I don't know, guys, look at Striker when I say this, but I'm pretty sure they'll be Team of the Year for 2025, all right? Now, let's jump into this, Prof. What are the comments that got your liking this week, Rand?
I got a few. Obviously, last week we were talking shit about FaZe. They went 3-0. During this period, I was at DreamHack, so I did not see any of this. So in my mind, this never happened. But some of the comments are kind of funny in that context, because it was just talking about how Frozen and Twistzz are just carrying them, essentially. Frozen should look into finding a better place to call home. Dude's an overworked caregiver in a rundown nursery ever since he left Mouse. That's a very specific way to put it.
Yeah. Don't know ever since he left Mouse, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one is just about Frozen and Twistzz carrying them. I thought it was funny to highlight this, considering it kind of is a slightly different look after last stage. One guy complaining about his random comment about turtlenecks in another random comment. So that's that. It's still a random comment.
At least you know they're wanted, right? People can't get enough of them.
This one is good. Rainy says, humiliation ritual from Falcon's loss will be the most remembered moments of CS2 if it happens. And I hope it will. It will, because people will make a lot of good content from it. HLTV, Reddit, or YouTube.
Jesus.
This is unfortunately somewhat correct.
I told you that the hate watchers are eating good with that stuff.
Yeah.
But they stopped doing it, at least not on stream.
They haven't stopped doing it.
Well, some of it wasn't on stream, at least.
Okay,
the first day it wasn't on stream, but it was shown. Yesterday,
later,
I watched
it was shown, yeah.
Yes, yesterday was live.
Let's recap something here. The FlyQuest loss and who else lost? MIBR were both games on the B stream. So they recorded it and then played it yesterday morning.
Okay.
And then yesterday, I'm pretty sure they didn't play the one at the end of the day with Tyloo.
I didn't see
Tyloo
towards the end.
Tyloo, they did.
Tyloo was the last
But
one.
Tyloo's mainstream.
But
B
all B stream
stream
games yesterday were qualification, not elimination.
That's why they are on the mainstream.
Yeah. So you would have seen all of them yesterday, plus 2 extra ones of FlyQuest and MIBR. So yesterday was a whole lot extra.
I have a idea for the fans that have tickets for the stage or the next stage. When a team goes to do that humiliation ritual, all of them start chanting, "Send them home, send them home." Imagine just like 100 people chanting this while like a team is just crying there. That would kind of be
enough, bro. Why are you?
Would be kind of
worse?
epic. Let's just make it happen for the lulz. Fuck it.
Have you guys come around yet though? Because you guys were like, man, I don't know if I like this, man. And I was like, yeah, but for the content, guys. Have you come around yet?
I stopped watching them, but like every time somebody got eliminated, I just like people reported to me that it didn't happen on the stream because I stopped watching the stream the second that somebody lost effectively.
All right.
So it's just impossible for me to watch.
I still think it's ridiculous. I don't think it needs to be like this.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to be like this. And another comment from Chiara Eclair. The awful ads, okay, that's one thing. Absolutely horrible music is the worst thing about the major. Same 5 seconds of AI-generated rock looping over and over. It's so grating. Have to mute in between every game. I don't know if it's AI-generated or not, but there are some audio clips that are so short that it drives me insane. I think it's in the pause between the halves. It is one of the worst things. And also still the piano. Actually, now it's a violin music for the humiliation ritual. It's so unnecessary. It just makes it look unreal. It doesn't feel real because it's, I don't know.
What we do isn't real. It's a video game. All right.
There you go.
Are you saying that no
Nothing
one
matters.
actually got put down and killed?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It is what it is. It's for the content and the viewers.
It is content. At the end of the day, it's content.
You can watch it if you want, and you don't have to watch it if you don't want, right? Like, there's a guy in the YouTube comments harassing me all the time. He can do it if he wants. He can do it if he doesn't want, but he clearly wants to. He knows he gets under my skin. I even replied to him in the YouTube comments. I thought we were going to see it here. It's not, unless it's the top. It's not the top comment.
No, I didn't see. What
Come
was
on, man. I thought he even went onto my private, well, it's not private, on my YouTube channel making comments so I'd see him on videos from fucking Belek Star Ladder. Like,
What
that's
the-
how, that's
Bel-
how,
Oh,
2018,
dedication.
2019, or whatever.
The guy's making a real fucking play for it. Okay, but what is the top comment, Prof?
The top comment, most up for the
Drum
comment,
roll,
and the winner
please.
is. I'm kind of shocked. I pray to James every night because I know he will save me. That's it. That's the whole comment.
We have a lot of religious viewers, and that's fine, right? A man like James, you see him, all you can do is pray. And so that is for, let me zoom in, Manu.
Manu.
So congratulations to you. I hope that you enjoy your signed Vitality jersey, thanks to Steak. Now, at Manu, you can see the fantasy at HLTV.org, send the email through, and we'll make sure we can hook you up with sending you that jersey. So congratulations. And again, thank you to Steak. Okay. Lucas. Yes, Chad. Yep. All right.
Run the ads.
So, well, yeah, actually, no, it's a good idea. Prof's right. Let's run the ads. It's a little bit early, but let's run the ads.
Ever wanted to try Refrag? Well, now you can. For the viewers of HLTV Confirmed, you can claim a 1-week free trial for the world's best CS2 training platform, letting you try out all of our features, like the Refrag Coach, which will analyze your games and give you a personalized training plan. You can also try out Challenger, an all-new game mode, which will test your retake abilities in realistic in-game scenarios. Try Refrag today for free using the link in the description.
You're a CS player and you won a major. It's not something people can take away from you, you know?
No matter what would have happened in that tournament, I'm glad I got benched.
It's just hard, you know, like when I look back at this image, all I see is that I failed.
When Device decided to quit the team, that was like the nail in the coffin.
Okay, this is where I want to be. This is where my place should be.
You know, if I could trade in all the trophies to just have my father back, then that would be a fair trade.
Right, back in business, baby. Thanks for sticking through the ads. Thanks to our partners for helping making all this possible. Prof doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to ask for a pay rise for next year. Okay. Let's talk about the major, shall we? Started at Budapest 2025, the conclusion of a packed calendar year, the second season, the new world order of the VRS. And stage one, I had some things to say. Now, Lucas, I linked you a video. Could you play this for all of our lovely viewers?
Oh my God.
The level at this stage was pretty bad.
Oh, you've just vindicated me.
Like,
Love that.
like I saw people posting like this stage doesn't deserve BO3s all the way through.
Oh, that was me.
I don't disagree.
Oh my God.
God, you just
Bro,
Chad's
like-
happiest camper in the world.
But like
right now.
watching some of these games, like I'm not gonna like shit on this guy, but I am going to a little bit. Like you're down 3-7 and you're walking trying to knife somebody. Coming
Yeah,
out.
2 qualified teams.
Yeah.
But I will also say the level of this
It's over,
stage
right?
was
It's looping now. Okay. Like, we didn't have any sound there, but I'm assuming you guys
It's
saw
the
that clip.
BO, it's the
I
BO1,
didn't.
not the washing hands one.
No, that's not the Mario protocol. That is, so Jason and I, that was not to promote the other podcast I do. That was to vindicate myself. So on last week's episode, I had some things to say about Stage 1's level of Counter-Strike, and because of that level, what I thought should happen with the stage. Had Lake come join Jason and myself in Jason's hotel room, and it's not what you think. We discussed the Counter-Strike with Lake, and he brought it up unprovoked. I was actually glazing him and his performances against PARIVISION and Bait. And he, unprovoked, was talking about the poor quality of Counter-Strike in Stage 1, which was the sentiment that we had. And then even said, I saw people talking about no best of threes for Stage 1, and I agree. Unprovoked. And so I just hear him because I ended up being the fucking
this is
face.
you. That face from you. That was you being shocked that somebody agreed with you.
Oh yes, baby. And the reason I do this is because there's a lot of people who just want to like turn the gun and point it at me and go, this fucking idiot. In the comments, there was like, it was on the CS2 Reddit, which I rarely go to because those guys, they're still evolving. They're not as sophisticated as the CSGO Reddit, right? The CS2 Reddit. You have to check every now and again, Prof. Prof doesn't even know there's a CS2 Reddit. He's just finding it out now.
You mean the not global offensive one?
Well, yeah, there's a couple of not global offensive ones. You got to check them. You got to see what's going on. You got to monitor. You got to be in the dirt sheets. But that was there, and people are like, fuck this SPUNJ guy. He's an idiot. And I'm like, yeah, I am an idiot. I admit it.
CS2.
Right?
I ran a poll on that in our newsletter after the first stage. Wasn't favorable. I'll tell you that much.
I
It was
didn't
something like
think so.
30 to 66%.
I wouldn't think it would be, right? But Striker, you and I had the same opinion independently. But you're throwing me under the bus.
That's the thing, and I'm not even being sarcastic about it. I actually think it would be kind of cool. Like, it's the worst part. I actually think it would be good.
I'm just looking at the CS2 subreddit that I didn't know existed.
Yeah, welcome. That'll be your whole day now. You won't get off it. You'll be there all day. You'll be scrolling. You'll be looking at skins. You'll be looking at opinions.
It's kind of the same shit
exactly
as always.
Yeah, but you still have to check. You have to check. So anyway, guys, my point was, I might be crazy, but I'm not alone. And even though you all don't agree, that's fine. We can all have different opinions.
There's still a lot of people who did. I mean, there's still like a good 40%, people who said that it should be best of one.
Now, here's the thing. We're going to get on Reddit again because that's why Prof pays me. We're going to go even more base this time.
Let's go.
Not only, I'm not going to double down on the opinion from last week. I'm going to make a new one, which I think I also made last week. Guys, if we go back to Austin, Stage 2 to Stage 3, in the opening round, 5 teams from Stage 2 won their opening games against the Stage 3 teams. If we come in from Stage 1 to Stage 2, 5 teams from Stage 1 won their opening game against Stage 2 teams. Do you know where this is going, everybody? Can you read my fucking mind? Can we abolish stages? I know it's hard. I know the resources are going to be fucking costly. I know TOs are going to have more PCs on site or more hotel rooms or more this or more that. There has to be a solution, right? Because first of all, do I think that in MR12 there should be any best of ones? No. Did I think that the quality of Counter-Strike was bloody miserable in Stage 1? Yes. Have Stage 1 teams done pretty good in Stage 2? Yes, we'll get to that shortly. Should there be no stages? Yes. Right? Can all of these things exist at once? Yes. Okay, that's great. We need there to not be stages, right? Because why am I having a conversation about a team being more warmed up in an environment who are nowhere near as high in the ranking or as quality as another team? Why is that existing? Why is that a point that we are discussing, right? Like, that's such a shame. Do I like the fact that there are 32 teams? Yes. And the reason I like the fact there are 32 teams is because it's a great way to have more people eat, right? More people to be able to feed themselves from getting to play Counter-Strike at the highest level, right? That should not be a guarantee for anybody. You have to earn it. And that's what people do throughout the calendar year, throughout the VRS. And then you get the stickers. And we don't want to do an owner pixel and say, man, they're all going to get $250,000. That's not German. I don't know what accent that was. But either way, you should not guarantee the amount of money anyone's going to get from signatures or team stickers because it changes based on you, the people at home, and how much you want to buy. So the long and the short in my mind is eventually, I believe, because Counter-Strike majors are fluid, they will always change, and they always have. Back in 2013, the majors were 16 teams, right? Then we shifted to 24. We didn't always do Swiss. We did GSL. Now we're doing 32-team, 3-stage, technically 4 if you count the playoffs, Swiss into an 8-team bracket. That's the one thing that hasn't changed. 8-team bracket, and this time it's now a best-of-5 final. So Counter-Strike majors will always be changing. We've had this conversation on the show plenty of times about ideal formats, But that for me needs to be the next evolution, moving away from stages. Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, would we... I don't know when we did the episode with the formats.
What's wrong with me? Yeah.
It was like 2-3 years
You're
ago.
asking for too much energy, Chad, here. It's too much.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
But even then, even with MR15, I was pushing for not... It would still be somewhat separated, but even if you put 32 teams into 2 Swiss groups of 16, so everyone starts at the same time. And then after that, you can do whatever. Even if you do 2 Swiss groups into another Swiss group, or 2 Swiss groups into a GSL or some shit, and then you get 8-team playoffs, or you put a 16-team playoff. All of these different concepts and possibilities, I think, are much better. Even if you have a situation where, let's say you play Group A first, and then you have 8 teams that qualify, chilling, and then there are other teams come in, 16 more teams come in, they play, 8 teams that win stay on. So there's a few teams that would be Group A teams that qualify to move on, would have a few days off. Maybe that's not ideal, but I still think makes it easier than having 32 teams playing at the same time.
Everyone will have played on the setups before then going against each other.
Yeah.
At a minimum, everyone to be comfortable with the environments.
I feel like something like that would be much better than this like fucking drag of recycling, and also the best of ones. It's like, oh, why'd you? And also some of the paths that these teams have been taking, like the teams that they're beating versus the other teams who they have been playing, it just feels ridiculous. I feel like Imperial's all over path has been easier than Legacy's stage 1.
But this is by virtue of those upsets, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it
but
all plays into each other.
Upsets are also like connected to best of ones, and also connected to the fact that someone's more warmed up and used to the stage, and oh, I need to have a warm jacket because it's cold there, or the food, or just all of these things that kind of play into your initial situation. Then also you're playing two games on the same day. You can't really prepare for the second game. Maybe it's a team you're not familiar with, or whatever. There's a lot of these factors that just like spur this whole thing into a bit of a chaos where would Aurora be winning the major? Probably not. So is that important? Maybe not. But still, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like we're getting the best of the best consistently throughout the stages, because the format is it's silly.
I can already start giving you the Valve counter anyway. Like once we get to the playoff and let's say we get 7 out of the 8 highest seeded teams, they'll be like, well, it worked, right? I think that. Striker, maybe you can co-sign this. I feel like Valve are open to the conversation regarding this stage thing because of the factors we're bringing up, which means that they need to get a suggestion or a pitch that works within the timeframes that we have, which is 3 weeks, or 2 and a bit, right? That a format or an idea of this premise that we're talking about could actually work.
Yeah,
that's essentially what needs to happen.
Yeah, I actually sent them a proposal of like what a 32, like 2 different things of what a 32 team major could look like in Austin. Like literally, we had a meeting, and like the next day, I sent them like 2 options that would kind of work, depending on what the TO would want to do in a moment, So like it is, they definitely were open to the idea. It's more about whether it can be executed.
Yeah, the thing is, like I'm very Valve pilled because I've been talking to these same gentlemen for 12 years now. They're still, I think it's like 3 or 4 of them that were at the first majors I was at that are still coming to the majors now. And they knew that I was an idiot then. They know that I'm still an idiot now, but I'm an idiot who thinks a little bit more now. Like only so slightly, right? Like I've finally worked out how to use my opposable thumbs and stuff. So I understand that they're data driven, which makes sense. And for anybody to critique any decisions of Valve, I just want you to look at the fact that this business makes $50 million per person a year. Okay? These are some of the most business savvy, smartest human beings that exist. So I think they're doing a pretty good job because we're still going. So I think that eventually we can evolve and change into something. The problem is if you're a player, you don't have to be like this as a viewer. I can understand if you are, but as a player, you want things to change and be good right now, right? Because that's your window. But for us as viewers or pundits or people in the space, I think I said the same thing last week or the week before, we have an extended time frame where we get to monitor and see things change. So yeah, make money means you are smart. It does actually. Yeah. I will say in the capitalist society, you're doing pretty good.
Decent indicator.
Yeah,
it's a decent.
Tends to be. Okay, so yeah, we can have format chat until the cows come home. We'll probably do like a post-mortem episode, or maybe as the season starts to kick up next year, as we talk more about like VRS, how it's evolving and these things, because when it's hot button, everything's a bit more emotional in the moment and people are not so reflective, whereas we can be down the line. So maybe early next year.
Kerrigan's coming for your ass.
Yeah, well, let's get into some of that. Striker?
Yes.
Today I would like to swear you in into the court of Gaben. You are now under oath. Would you like a lawyer present, or can I continue with my line of questioning?
You can continue.
Are you sure you don't want a lawyer?
Lucas can be my lawyer.
Lucas can be your lawyer.
One of your cats. Get one of your cats.
I thought you were going to say fucking...
They're sleeping right now.
Lawyer.
Nobody's...
Okay. All right. Lucas is your lawyer. All right, Striker. Was everyone wrong, Striker? Did FaZe actually play well in stage 1? Did FlyQuest actually suck? Tell me, Striker. I want the truth.
Objection. Leading question.
Striker, do you want to answer?
It was very leading question, actually. Lucas got it completely right.
He's been watching too much.
Where do you want me to start? FaZe or FlyQuest?
I want you to start with revisionist history from...
Revisionist history. Okay.
With fans who have inherent biases.
Jesus Christ. I mean, to be fair, like it's also not like FaZe were absolutely amazing in this stage. Like there were a lot of moments where they could have lost those games, you know? So it's not like, it's just, it went the right way for them with the close ones. So I think it's also not like, you know, I suddenly think FaZe will go far in the next stage, you know, and just because they went 3-0 here, as we saw with FlyQuest, that's absolutely not what can happen for the next stage, you know. We can just go 3-0 and then bomb out the next.
Let's start there, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, guys, it's crazy, right? But I know that you all love ragging on me because I'm Australian and there's one Australian team and I'm friends with some of the guys in the team, and I would make my heart feel good to see them do well. In my opinion, I thought they played pretty clean Counter-Strike in stage 1. Yep. Was that against teams that are not very good? Yeah. Legacy was good. The other two teams, not so good. But Imperial are now in stage 3. So, yeah, what can you say about that one? But the type of Counter-Strike that FlyQuest played in stage 2 was pretty rubbish, right? They played against NAVI in the opening game. They opted for train, which meant they would start on the T side. Also, just remind me if I don't get to this later, I think the veto conversation at Majors is interesting because of no knife rounds. But anyway, sidebar. So they lost the first half 12-0. It was miserable. Nobody was fragging. It wasn't even close rounds.
It wasn't even about fragging. They just played everything so slow, and like if NAVI was just prepared for everything. And like you can't play NAVI like this. Like it was impossible.
And then the woes continued into their second game against 3D Max, where they lost the first half of Inferno 11-1. They made a little bit of a comeback in the second half, but it was, as Pimp puts it, cosmetic. That's bang on, right? They did start to play better Counter-Strike in that second half, but it's too late, right? Way too late to get back into that game. And then going up against Astralis, Overpass was close, but Mirage is a map that you have to put Astralis away on, especially considering the conversation around Astralis is all this temporary stuff. And I think even the conversation a bit more behind the scenes is like dead team, right? Like the idea of the temporary thing is one side, but what we're hearing on the back end is like, you know, a conversation about it being a dead team. So this type of a run, not taking a map off of Astralis, who did beat Aurora yesterday, right? And I like Hooksy, I'll be honest. I like Rasmus. But yeah.
He was playing well too.
He was.
It was legitimately Magisk and Hooksy carried their asses.
I'm the first guy, right? If people maybe don't remember as well, when it was like Greyhound or Renegades and they were not doing very well, I wouldn't even talk about them. Or I would be very dismissive of their stuff. Like, of course they lost. Like, what are you guys talking about, right? The team now definitely made some leaps in the later stages of this season. Stage 1 was good. Stage 2 kind of felt like it reset that. And yeah, people just want to, you know, talk shit.
But I mean,
because of that fact.
also, when you look at the teams they lost to, Navi, 3D Max, Astralis. These are like
three
top
borderline
10
top
teams.
10, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the fact that they lost; it's in the way that they lost.
Yeah. All fair, but I'm just saying, like, obviously these are not teams that are like, oh, they're going to win the major, but these are all teams that probably should be better than FlyQuest. Maybe, yeah, this is disappointing when you look at, you pick Mirage, you get 0 CT rounds. You have five T rounds. That's a good half.
Should be enough.
That's a good half. Now you need to like close it out on CT. You get 0 rounds. Well, that fucking sucks. So there are obviously some disappointing elements in like how things went, but I mean, 0-3 looks worse than the teams that they lost to, I think, when you look at that.
Oh, well, look, you guys aren't the ones who are going to be getting tweets and fucking people talking shit about you. So I have to be hard. I have to be hard line, guys. It's the only way out. It's the only way out, like now that I'm back and fully logged in, every comment on the internet, I read it will be passed through my brain and it will all have the same level of importance because I want to be accepted and loved. And, the people know that they can get to me.
Who doesn't?
They know they can get to me, and they know that they can. Oh, I could have fake cried there. That's how tired I am. All right, let's jump into, I guess can we go positive? I don't want to go straight into more negative.
FaZe positive, no?
Yeah, let's go FaZe. I don't want to go into Aurora just yet. I want to save that, not savor that, guys. Save, okay. Yeah. So FaZe and NAVI going 3-0. So this is more of this revisionist history because I think FaZe, even by their own admission, didn't play very well in stage 1. I was listening to the Nero interview on Spotify. Again, guys, head over to Spotify and please subscribe to, this is not a paid presentation, the HLTV interview channel on Spotify. It's fucking great. While you're in the shower, while you're in the gym, while you're taking a shit, while you're on the bus, while you're doing anything, just play the interviews. You don't have to read them. Do you know how good not reading is? Imagine not having to read a thing. But getting to listen to an interview is very important in my mind because you can hear the tone of voice in the way that the question is answered. And I think that's huge. Like written text, if anyone has ever had an argument with their partner over text, it's the most miserable thing in the world because you're talking past each other. And maybe sometimes you can misconstrue things in interviews. And I think it's important to be able to hear or see them. But yeah, so I think Nero was talking about Carrigan in an interview a couple months prior, or a little bit earlier in the year, was saying it's good for FaZe to start in stage 1. It was very rocky, right? They definitely could have been eliminated in stage 1, but then the form that they were able to find. So FaZe's run to get through was a win against Passion. Then they took on Aurora, which is a big scalp, and then they took on NIP. And the NIP series was a lot of fun. 2 16-12 scorelines, making us bring back MR15. Still really good performances from Twistzz and Frozen, but Jacob also throwing his hat into the ring. The Brokey stuff hasn't really changed, which is probably still quite alarming. But they have fought on now. The problem is by going 3-0, you're going to be seed 9 or 10. So you play against Vitality or Furia.
Vitality or Furia, yeah.
So that's tough. But in a best of 1 that you warmed up in, maybe it's not. Maybe Carrigan really likes that. Gentlemen, thoughts, feelings, opinions? FaZe Clan?
Quite limited how much I managed to see them because I was at DreamHack most of the weekend. But I still have the same feeling that I had at the beginning, that this is not like what's the name? Kerrigan came out with an interview. He's like, it's more about 2026 than this major, which is an interesting thing to say. I don't disagree.
But don't you think he's just being good gamesmanship of interview and expectation setting? Right?
Yeah,
trying to deflect for the audience, but also helps with his teammates hear those sentiments and stuff too.
I think he is literally the best in Counter-Strike at doing that.
Him and Blade are very good at that.
At like using interviews to put out sentiments, which makes sense, right? To make the team feel better, right? I think a lot of people actually are horrible and fuck themselves over by like putting things out there that put more pressure on the team. I think what he is doing is exactly what you said. He knew what was going to get picked up. He just does. He always did. So I think the idea is to take pressure off of the team, take the pressure off of now and be like, okay, we're building for the future. But I was just still disappointed in what was being shown so far to a degree that I feel like there is something missing. I think definitely Brokey, especially on the op, is pretty bad.
It's like a crisis of confidence.
Yeah, but like, how long is a crisis of confidence, and what is just like you're not good at what you're doing, right? Combine that with like his decision making, which has always been very, let's say, non-standard.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Kind of out of the box ways of doing things, which sometimes are good, but you need to back it with your individual skill to pull it off. Because if you're putting yourself in these weird situations, you just need to hit the shots, and then everything looks much better. I think still on the rifle, he doesn't look that bad. It's mostly the opping, which is a problem, but it is a problem for a lot of teams and a lot of players. But I still think that's a part of FaZe that will be at least one change in next year, and it's a huge limiting factor. Some of these rounds when you see, like, I don't know, Brokey and Twistzz in a 2v1 or even a 3v1, the plays that he is doing, no one fucking understands why that's happening. And then the other guys is like, why am I now here? Why do I have to? This could have been done so much better, the two of us together, and then they lose that. And that's like FaZe MO of winning bullshit rounds. And they have won some of these as well, like the eco round, who they played, the nuke round against NIP. NIP is up 9-6 CT side on nuke. And they have this round which seems like a completely given round. They just everyone just starts fucking whiffing on people with Glocks, and they lose the round.
That's the nerve, though, back for the younger players on NIP, right? Whereas like Jacob is the only one that can be painted with that brush in the FaZe jersey. And I also think that, you know, you hear Carrigan talking about the DNA, those levels of bullshit, like the quote unquote luck, right? So like that's where they put themselves in positions where those opportunities can arise. You're not going to pull it off every time. But the round that filled me with a little bit of confidence, I think it was Frozen, Brokey, B site in that same game, 2v4. Like they molly, double door, lower site. They go into plant. There's a second molly that I think Brokey throws a bit deeper on the stairs, and then Frozen alley-oops him up with a flash. And it's just the teamwork in a 2v4 in a stressful scenario. Brokey swings the doors. I think he kills Kaspersky or Wrinkle, not sure which one. And then they win out this 2v4 situation. I'm like, that's FaZe, right? Like that's the FaZe that you know and love. And that's the FaZe that you want to see playing, because some of these teams, they have a distinct ability to make games entertaining, right? And FaZe do that. Whether or not it's the most polished CS, you know, like I like watching FaZe games because of the narrative. They've given us something huge to talk about. Oh, they're sucking in stage 1. Oh, they're doing good in stage 2. Oh, but we still don't think they're going to do good in stage 3, right? Like, and then we'll be wrong, and then we'll end up in a highlight compilation video of, you know, the way FaZe plays Counter-Strike, down, now, and then there'll be us all over the screen, and they'll become bang, 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 and there'll be all this sick stuff happening. But you need to be objective, and objectively, you know, it's hard to say that the team has what it takes to go deeper, but we're going to have to, like, this is the thing. I hope they make us eat our words, and we have to go back to the classic trope with FaZe where it's like, well, once they get to the arena, anything's possible. The thing that I have noted when I've seen them after matches walking in the halls is immediately like Carrigan and Twistzz like debriefing about the game. You can see that like Twistzz coming back in, like he has 2 IC status over there. I know Carrigan's spoken about that, having this second voice, but you can really see that relationship. And it's something that I know from talking to Twistzz, that the level of respect and admiration that he has for Carrigan as a leader, like, it is immense. It's the most out of any leader he's ever played with. Like, actually, I don't want to speak for him, but that's the impression I got while talking to him. Striker.
Do you remember the interview?
Yeah, I do.
Do you remember the interview, Striker, you did with Twistzz when he went to Liquid?
Oh yeah, of course.
About
being coached by Carrigan, you mean, or what's
no,
part are you
the
referring
part
to?
where he was like, KDN is probably the best in-game leader. No, I'm not going to say the quote.
Like, yeah, sure.
He said he had such high words of praise for KDN in terms of like, maybe he could even be better than Carrigan. That was kind of
okay.
Didn't last long, but I just always remember that.
Didn't last long. That part is interesting because, like, I think Twistzz has always been that, even in this first FaZe stint, where he was always the vocal one. Like, after games, like, if something went wrong, he was always going to be like talking to Carrigan about, like, we should have done this, we should have done that. Now, I'm not necessarily sure that he had the authority then to be that guy, because there were so many other voices on the team. Obviously, you have Rain, you have Robs, who obviously will have also a lot of say, so maybe he felt like he was more in the back seat at the time, but now obviously he's not. Now he's more in the position where he can be the second voice and he will have the authority, because he is now effectively the second most senior player on the team, so it just makes a lot of sense that he would grow into that role even more. For me, the big takeaway was Jacob actually looked confident for once. I think it helped that they got off to a pretty strong start. In that Passion UA game, fucking the 2v4s or whatever it was, 1v3s that they lost was fucking horrible, and it was all brokey, of course, because because who else would throw these rounds? But for them to win it still relatively comfortably, but despite that, also speaks to something, because they actually looked really convincing outside of those two stupid rounds, that put them on ecos, and they have to actually kind of struggle through the rest of the map. The fact that they won that, I think, just kind of gave them a little bit more breathing room. I think Jacob probably felt less like he was being watched all the time, just because if they're losing all the time, people are going to be talking about Jacob being bad. So I think that level of breathing room, I think, helped him feel a little bit more comfortable. And you could see the change in terms of his output throughout the whole stage. He went from something like 0.85 stage 1 to 126 or something stage 2. So that level of difference is obviously going to make that's going to make a difference on the server, right?
Definitely did not expect that, because you could see how did not think he was that bad. There's no way he's that bad of a player as he was performing. That's
right.
But I also didn't think he could be able to turn it around so fast, between two stages.
I think it'd be map dependent though, don't you? I think on a nuke, you've got him anchoring the top side. It's bro.
Yeah.
You're not.
But also overpass as well feels like he's super uncomfortable there on BCT as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely some maturing of the positions that they could do within the team that might be able to assist. But the thing with Jacob overall is, when you look at this scenario, it feels like maybe he hasn't been set up for failure, but you can see how there is so much immense pressure, right? He's brought in as a replacement for Abolish, who statistically was doing very strong, right? But then it kind of even gets worse from there, because when Twistzz comes back, it's not like Twistzz is seen as the Rain replacement. Jacob is still seen as the Rain replacement. And Rain is one of the most beloved players in Counter-Strike because of his lineage. And every pro that's ever played with Rain comes out. It's the same way people did with Olaf, and they say this is the best teammate I've ever played with. Right? No one has a bad thing to say about Rain. So Jacob then getting that spot over Rain, and then Rain, after such a legacy period in FaZe, getting kind of swept aside, even though the team is starting to think about the future, which is good, because that's one of the things we criticized FaZe for the whole ROP situation, for letting Twistzz go as well, right? Before, they're finally doing that, and then they're still getting shit, right? Obviously, that's results-based, but FaZe are one of these organizations that fall into the conversation where we expect you to be a top 5 team in the world. And right now, they're not a top 5 team in the world, right? So for Jacob being under that pressure, he's gone from playing tier 2 Polish Counter-Strike to being in one of the most exciting Counter-Strike teams in the world with some of the biggest and best names, right? So time is one of these things, and we don't give enough of it, right? Because of Alex had a good term for this. We were talking about it yesterday during the cast. He called it the donk delusion, right? Because of donk, right, coming in and just being like, I am donk, I kill everybody. Everyone thinks that every young player is just going to walk in and do the same, and that is not a really realistic expectation. Most
of them are not even set up even nearly like that, right?
Yeah, true.
And they probably shouldn't be, but that's the sliding scale of okay, back in the day, the 2015s and 16s, it's a promising player. Yeah, he'll be our anchor on all maps and our team of superstars and legendary players. Oh, he is not putting up 1.20 ratings. He must suck. That's bad, but it's also bad to be like, oh, this is actually, he's just going to be in all-star positions, even though we play differently than what he played before. That's also not really a great way to put so much pressure on a player that, Jacob, no one ever said Jacob is the next fucking Nico, except his coach, who said he has aim like Nico. But he didn't say this is going to be the top 5 player in the world. I don't think this is a realistic expectation for the guy either.
I got to play a pug with Jacob, and I thought he was pretty sharp, right? Like I think, I was dropping him AKs every round. I was like, hey, bro, go kill him. I can't do it. You do it. Yeah, so I thought he was sharp. Anyway, let's shift into NAVI. We can move away from this FaZe conversation. So NAVI going 3-0 within the stage. Obviously, this year hasn't been the best year, but someone in the Talking Counter Discord pointed out that still, regardless of a poor year, they use the term prestige events. I think it was a user called Baller. I think it was. Shout out to him. He's the term prestige events. So talking about the 2 majors in Katowice to Cologne, and said that NAVI have been in the playoffs of all 3 of them, right? So that's kind of a nice little nugget of intel there. But, NAVI also very good at managing their PR, right? Blade's out there going, yeah, I would love to go into every tournament thinking we can win, but I have to be realistic, right? Like that's not verbatim a quote, but pretty much the sentiment right there.
I don't know if that makes that much of a difference, to be honest, like what he says about that outwardly, because I think people still have those expectations of Navi, and I don't think it will temper anybody's expectations too much, to be honest.
Well, they looked very good within this stage.
This time, yes, of course.
Yeah. So owning FlyQuest, like absolutely dumpstering, bit and wonderful looking good. Then Imperial, they'll put through their paces. An interesting nugget I thought from that was Emma said in an interview, a post-game interview or something, or maybe it was a pre-game interview, I'm not sure which one it was, when talking about the veto, it seemed like Mirage caught the team off guard because he made the sentiment like, we didn't think it was going to be Mirage, but I was like, guys, what if it's Mirage, right? Like, I think it was like, that was kind of the vibe he was given. That was a 13-10 that they just snuck past, and then they handled Bait, right? It wasn't close against Bait. It was like 13-6, 13-8.
Yeah.
And wonderful, and looks really, really good. So Makazi, his major debut, being able to make it to the quote-unquote main event, right? That's what Bit tweeted about, right? It's sentiment that I think a lot of players, especially players who have won majors or been deep in majors, probably still hold to this day. I know it's like a Taco, this world looks at the top 16 as the main event. The rest are all just, residual add-ons. So if you look at it from that angle, they've taken care of business here. They get the unfortunate gift of having to play against one of those 2 names. We don't know yet, right? Because of
but if you were going to play against one of those names, would it rather be in a one map where for Navi that's been a bit awkward, with their map pool, like whether they have a home map and all these things, versus a best of 3 where you're obviously going to be put more under scrutiny, So I think they're actually probably pretty happy to play somebody like that early.
Well, yeah, that's fair. I think that's a good angle to look at it. And then plus the warmed-in factor, right? And those stats that I quoted from Austin and here. So you do have a good opportunity to win that opening game. And look what happened to Legacy. Look what happened to Vitality against Legacy in Austin. So it's definitely possible to catch them off guard. And Blade gets a couple of extra days to prep because of the 3-0 factor. So we know that he likes to be very prep-heavy there. So I think that's cool. Like I'm excited to see how far Navi can push the issue, because overall for the playoffs, especially now that Aurora is out, right? I'm thinking I would like to see, I'd like to see, my expectation would be Vitality, Furia, Falcons, Spirit, Mouse. So those 5, and then the 3 spots after that I think are quite open. I don't know what you guys think.
Let me take a look.
Well, because Mongols have the controllers situation. Aurora are eliminated, right? Navi would be a team who would have been on the cusp of that conversation anyway. Right. Sure. I think that trying to populate those final 3 spots would have been quite difficult. So from what you've seen here, does Navi become in contention for one of those positions in the playoffs? You think?
I feel like they probably always were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like towards the bottom of that, like making playoffs. Like even looking at their whole season, as much as we were like, Navi are not that good, like most of their losses were against the best, the Mouses, and up from that spot. Yes, they have a 3D Max loss and a heroic one. The heroic one is really rough, and in Chengdu looked horrible, but it's Navi. Their limit in many ways was not a real star player, and their upper is like having some shit moments under pressure. I think that pressure never came here. I still think I don't think we'll see wonderful 170 rating averaging, not even a 130. Like if he's a 120, that would be fucking insane. But even the worst thing is, even when his rating looks good, in a big pressure moment, he's gonna fuck up some situations, and that's consistently been the problem with him. It's not like he's awful. It's been this whole year is like, okay, you want to replace him, but with who?
That's the thing.
Who's going to be better than him? On average, it's really hard to find a person that would improve Navi, and that is available, right?
He's a very good AWPer. He's just not like an elite level AWPer, or at least he hasn't flourished into that yet. It doesn't mean it's not possible. He's still a young man.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see how that continues to manifest. Okay. Striker, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Could you, because of the poor performances from the Asian region and the fact that we know the 2-2 matches for today, so we guaranteed to know which teams are from which regions are going to qualify from stage 2 into stage 3.
Yes.
What does the Cologne major spot distribution start to look like? Asia have lost a couple spots, right?
Yeah, one spot, I think it is, because they now don't have a team in stage, like the extra team in stage 3, because last time they had Tyler or somebody like that moving there. I think it was
Leaderboard, wasn't it?
Oh,
but Tyler got right. The FPG
yeah, one of these teams made an extra on top of the Mongols, obviously, who went to the playoffs, so they had an extra stage 3 slot. So this would have been the stage 2 slot that they lost, and that went in favor of Europe now, because they will have 2 European teams facing against each other, or 4 European teams facing against each other. So we're guaranteed to have 2 more in the next stage. So it's now 17 for Europe, 10 for the Americas total, and 5 for Asia.
Okay.
And I think the 5 is like 1 at least to stage 2, and then we'll see how Mongols do, obviously, in the last stage where they're the only representative, right? I mean,
so they have to make playoffs to retain a spot for stage 3 for Asia.
Yeah, exactly. It's still TBD how far some of those slots are going to be, obviously, but the overall distribution has shifted basically by just 1 slot going from Asia to Europe.
Okay, so headline is Asia lose 1, EU gain 1. That's it.
Yeah.
Simple. Okay.
Cool.
I guess it's I saw some Australians tweeting about it. It's like makes it even worse for Oceania, right? It makes it really difficult to expect another team from the region to go to the major, like that 1 spot.
But then again, to be honest, like it's like they've never had a second team that like was competitive to this degree. So I don't know if that's a fair ask.
Yeah.
Necessarily.
Look, here's the situation, right? The population of Australia is like 28 million or something. Not a lot of people. If you want to do it, it's passion, right? This is not anything that you're entitled to. The going through the motions back in the day to put Australia on the map in CS:GO was something that me and my boys fought hard for, right? Beating teams in a major qualifier, taking down 3D Max, taking down Pimp's Dignitas, beating EU teams, having good runs at Gfinity. Those are all hard things, right? And those things weren't afforded to us. When I was a part of Vox Eminor, we didn't get a salary. Any sponsorship money that Talnoy had went to flying us across Europe, right? We worked jobs. I was a plumber. Top Gun was a truck driver. Havoc was a carpenter. The others who studied, right? Like, that status quo hasn't shifted. There's not like there's a shitload more money. And it's not that I'm not sympathetic towards these guys, because I know how tough it was and it's still as tough. But there's more opportunities now than there was back then. So you have to just try and make the most of them, and you have to make some sacrifices. And when you do go to events, you need to find results. You can't go to an EPL and do nothing. You have to seize the day, boys. Like, how many EPL seasons have you been able to go to where you do nothing?
Yeah, and then now that is kind of gone, right? That route, especially with the 16 team, it's not gonna be happening. And I mean, yeah, as you said, like there have been opportunities have not been taken, but then it's also seems like the whole like local land, domestic land aspect is missing in Australia.
Maverick's trying. There's a bloke called Maverick who runs Refrag lands.
Refrag now had their first, which is good, but it's been quite slow. And I know also Australia is fucking big. You can't really just go in a car and drive from one city to another. You need to fly, which is expensive. So it's harder to get that going to some degree.
Yeah,
but also these lands don't need to be 32 teams. It can be an 8-team land, can be whatever. And these land factor to the VRS is what was missing for them to get some of these spots, which maybe some other regions played their hand better. Maybe some things were not 100% above board. Who knows? But ultimately, in Asia, other countries had a lot more.
They have much better infrastructure for sure.
Yeah.
Someone in chat points out something good, that Perth servers are actually we have a line under the ocean from Perth to Singapore, and you can get a really good connection. I'm not sure what the connection for the people in the eastern states to Perth is these days. It used to be 80 ping or 90 ping back when I was playing. It must be better now, right? It must be, because it's going to get better over time. So that could be a way to kind of connect the communities a little bit more. I also know there's a Guam server that the people on the East Coast can play on to play against people in Northeast Asia, I think it is. I'm not sure exactly, but there are some options and stuff. And I don't, maybe Maverick hasn't seen it because Twitter DMs suck, but I did send him a Twitter DM and say next time that he's running a sizable Oz LAN, especially one with VRS points, I didn't stipulate that, but I'm stipulating it now and I'm on the record. Let me know and I'll donate the money to the prize pool.
Let's go.
So, right, I haven't been connected to the Oz scene for a while, but I still want them to do well. So, yeah, I understand it's hard, but guys, no one said it was going to be easy.
That's my biggest worry, you know, for like a FlyQuest or whatever. That's, you know, they will keep getting all these invites to the tier 1 events, but not do well enough there to, you know, give themselves enough of a bump across the rest of the Asian teams, right? Who gets the extra points off of the local tournaments. I mean, we already saw that there was somewhat of a danger for FlyQuest to not make it into the major this year, you know, like, so that's, and they've actually not been doing that badly. So it's, if that continues down that path, we wouldn't have any Oceania team representing. And I think that one should always be there to some degree, you know, to have that representation done. So I hope there's going to be something done for that.
I think for FlyQuest as well, when you look at it, they will get the bounty invite, but then after that, they're outside of the invite range for a lot of other events. So unless teams are turning them down, they're going to be pretty light on in terms of LAN events. So they might be having to play more Asian LANs or more tier 2 stuff as well. Anyway, we are digressing a little bit. It is tangentially close enough, but let's jump into this Aurora stuff. Gentlemen, we know that in pressure games, Aurora, have struggled in the past, but this one is kind of an all-new low, right? With Blast Austin, they didn't make the playoffs, and that was the first event of the entire season where they hadn't made the playoffs, and that was the last major. This time, they can't even make it from stage 2 to stage 3. This one must hurt, right? You saw in the humiliation ritual after the fact, like Jodo was all teary and stuff, and this was his first year in the Aurora jersey. Well, I started in the Eternal Fire jersey. And I thought that I really like watching him and Wakadia play. I was commentating at the time, so I'm going to have to throw this onto the floor to you guys if you were watching the match. I have, considering how late we finished, how early I've gotten up, and now how I have to go in, I didn't get to watch actually any of their matches directly due to scheduling stuff. So what happened?
There's a new radar going around. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh, the 5v3 on Mirage.
I did. I hate those radar things. They make me so sad.
Yeah.
People are so mean.
I was watching some of the Astralis game for the most part. I don't know. It's a combination of a few things. I actually think their T side was not that bad this time, as much as they get shit for it consistently. I think they got into some decent positions, but I don't know. It's one of those teams where you just feel like they know how much they need to do better, and because of that, they can't.
Pressure.
Yeah, it is. Bro, pressure is crazy, but it's so real because it doesn't make sense what people are doing in some of these situations, like where they're positioning, the amount of time that they have to create good setups, and they don't. They just like freeze. 5v3. I'm just sitting on bench on Mirage, waiting for the smokes to fade, to be in the middle of nothing and get fucked. And then, you know, it's rough.
So
it's rough out there.
Is it poor Counter-Strike, or is it pressure getting to them and then them playing poor because of the pressure?
I think it's more pressure, honestly.
Okay. Strike, what's your take?
I mean, I didn't see the last game. I saw the couple of previous. It just felt like Xantares wasn't himself for a lot of these games. I was looking through the stats for the games that I didn't see, and he had a couple of other good games, but then in the last game against the last map against Astralis, he kind of disappeared as well. That's what I caught in like the PARIVISION and the FaZe games, where he just wasn't having the impact that we pretty much see from him every single event. And when you don't have him online for some of these games, obviously you're going to struggle because they rely on him so much to get them openings a lot of the time, especially because of the way that their T side works. Somewhat, where they pack up a lot after, they get an opening or don't get an opening. They just always pack up. So it's just, it's always going to be reliant on him having some decent numbers, and he didn't really. So that's always going to be a struggle for me.
The train collapse is crazy, though, isn't it?
I
what was it, 9 straight rounds or something from Astralis?
They won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They went 8-1 on their city side. They are no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think it was 8-4 in the first half. So
it was worse than that. It was 4 city rounds at the end of the half, and then 7 rounds. It's 11 rounds in a row.
11 in a row.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff like what the hell? You're playing city side fucking train.
Yeah.
What is going on? Yes, you lose a clutch here or there or whatever, but I don't know. You kind of just like fucking fall over yourself and you win a city round on train. That's the vibe. Yeah. And it's these what was it? It was like a 2v1 or something. You see Wikidia as a 5-7, it's an eco. And he's making all of these movements in this 2v1 that are like perfect, pre-aiming perfectly like where the guy is. And they just can't land a single fucking bullet. And you're just like, why is this happening? Why is this happening to this young guy? Does he deserve to be in the humiliation ritual 2 minutes, like to 1 hour from now? Is God so cruel? I guess it is. Yes, yeah. They them are.
It's tough. Yeah. I'm just curious if this provokes any changes. Obviously, one of them that we were discussing was xFloud.
There's fucking no way they do not change a player.
Yeah, but
who?
Because
who?
You can't be changing Joda and you can't be changing Wikidia. They're the future of Turkish Counter-Strike, man.
Yeah.
So that leaves
But you also don't have an Alper, so you can't change Woxic. So like what?
Leaves you with 2 names.
Okay.
One of them is the greatest Turkish Counter-Strike player ever, and the other is the in-game leader.
Yeah.
They'll do one of those too.
But
there's no way they'll change that. There's no way they'll change Antares and there's no way they'll change Major.
So
they can't change.
I feel like they'll change Major.
Okay.
Amor, Calyx, and Paz are coming back, guys.
Doesn't matter. They'll just say like whoever this new guy is the IGL. xFloud is the IGL.
The xFloud, you're the IGL. xFloud doesn't strike me as the IGL type, prof.
You don't think so? I actually think
he's a fucking troll.
So is Apex.
Sure, he's a troll too. So maybe it's fine. Maybe
control quite a bit.
Yeah, but not like xFloud.
Trolling is like faking on the server is trolling. That's the thing. You're just like, I'm going over here. Actually, it's over here.
Just kidding.
Yeah. JK.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this in the post-mortem, right? Because
more humiliation rituals.
I think just to kind of conclude, it's weird because objectively it was not a bad year for Aurora. They even won a small title, right? That was kind of the goal.
Thought that was their breakout moment.
But it wasn't though. If you actually saw the games that they were playing, bro, like by the time they got to the final,
it's a mental game.
Jesus Christ.
They unlocked the 5th dimension. Yeah.
Right.
No one thought that was their breakout moment, but it was just like, okay, that's a nice thing. They went their whole like playoff record in the first half of the season. They integrated a rookie into the team. It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's definitely stagnated, and there doesn't seem to be a trajectory of improvement. And that's why I expect them to make a change, even if it will potentially make them worse. They'll make a change.
Okay. Let's jump into the next bit. I've got about 25 minutes left, maybe a little bit more. Maybe I can be a little bit generous. Okay, let's talk about the 3-1 teams. The title I've gone with is She Baits on My Imp Until I Lose My Paravision. So that's some of that good stuff. Let's talk about
you're on some of that good stuff, I think.
How you think I'm getting out of bed in the morning?
We need to separate you from...
I saw you
taking my tablets?
I saw you aggressively pill popping just before we went live. I don't know what that is.
Taking my creatine, taking my minoxidil, keeping the hair. And I won't show the last one. It's not drugs. It's just that the amount of people I will upset with this because they'll be like, why is he taking that placebo shit? Let me do what I want. Stop fucking judging.
Is it just like vitamins or some shit?
I'm not even going to fucking say. People are so mean just because you take a thing. And even if it is placebo, it makes me feel better. So
yeah,
I'm not even saying.
I mean, there's it's called a placebo effect for a reason. If it was a non-effect, it would be called a placebo non-effect, right?
Yeah. So I'm not going to mention it. I don't want people to be mean to me. I'm fed up with people being mean to me. I'm too old and insecure.
I like you, Chad.
Yeah?
I like you, Chad.
Okay, thanks.
That's it.
Okay. So I got to cast the bait game, and the third map. Let's just get there. Let's get there for the bait game. Kenzies, bro. Me and Alex did a couple of their games, and he was this kid who was just like, once he got in a position to go aggressive, he'd get these really sick, quite crispy multis. He really activated on Dust 2 versus 3D Max, ragdoll him around the server, but everybody had their moments. Like there's a round they went aggressive. Kenzies dies lower. MPO tries to come out short and trade. He dies. And then they reroute back to long 5v3 situation with 3D Max. And Alex kills 4 long doors. Just bang, 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 bang. It's like, you guys are dead. Everything that happened was sick. I really like watching Bait play. And the fact that they clawed themselves back after getting blown out 13-3 on train. That was 3D Max's map choice. They worked through another hard ancient, even though it is a weakness for 3D Max. And then they put on a show on Dust 2, which is before they beat Legacy in their 2-1 game in the last stage, they had lost 8 in a row on Dust 2. So respect to Bait. I like this team. Kenzies obviously joined late last year in for Captain Kirk. So this team has been together for the whole year. If you look at their stats, they didn't start playing lands until like the 4th or 5th month of the year, which is a little bit baffling.
I mean, they only got into the invite cycle and then suddenly stopped playing all the online shit because they got all the offline shit, and they stayed in that invite cycle the whole time. So it was just a big switch for them, like really in the middle of the year.
And they've made a step from the Blast Major. Like Blast Major, they went stage 1 to stage 2. This major, they've gone all the way to stage 3. So they joined the big boys table. So congratulations to Bait. I think that the pieces are starting to feel a bit more comfortable. I expected more celebration after their victory, but Tedrick just went, yeah, and then everybody else just kind of smiled. And I was like, oh, I thought they'd be happier. Obviously, MPL's post-game interview, we touched on that at the start. So that's Bait. Do you want me to just keep going, flying through these? I want to touch on them because fans of these teams are going to be upset that we don't. So I want to hit the notes.
No, it's curious. Like when you were talking about the Kenzies, right? Like I think he's always him and NPL are obviously meant to be the stars of this team, but he's never necessarily showed it, output wise at least. So it's kind of cool that he's having some of these games finally, because I feel like it's been due.
Just to cap out their run, they beat Liquid in the opener, then they beat Fnatic, then they lost to NAVI, and then obviously they, as we were talking about, beat 3D Max. So a couple of decent scalps there in the mix to book their spot. For Imperial, they got the gift of getting to play against MIBR. In the opener, I think a lot of teams had either Imperial or 3D Max or both as their 0-3s in the pick'ems, because it felt like a safe call that one of the two would go 0-3. Imperial from... what the fuck happened there? Imperial from that point had to play NAVI on Mirage. We discussed that a little bit earlier in the show. No need to rehash that. They dropped down to the 1-1 bucket. They beat Fnatic. After they beat Fnatic, then they go up against M80, and that one went 3 maps as well. So that was Mirage that they snatched. I think that poor first half for M80 on Mirage, to be honest. They should have... They won the pistol, they won the conversion, but then they lost to the third round where Try saved a scout and got a triple kill. Try was very impactful on that CT half. And then they tried to bring it back in the second half. Swish got 3 kills in the first half of Mirage and ended up with like 20 in total. So he got 17 kills on the CT side. He had a lot of multi-kills. His Swish has been very good at this event, I will say. But yeah, Imperial eked that one out. And that was due to No Way having 2 really impactful rounds late. He literally took a head-to-head duel with Slacks. Slacks shot an ult bullet, missed, stayed B-apps. No Way knew, because he missed shooting at him, and then still stepped out and just took the head-to-head duel with an AWP and beat him. That was massive. That was the round after. The round before, it was like 4v4 or maybe even 5v4 disadvantage. No Way jumps into B on like a B play and gets 3 kills, and they win the round. And that's kind of what got them back on the board to close out the game. They then went into Dust 2 where they got romper stomped. And then the third and deciding map of Train. It was one of those games where it was wild. Like first half, M80 win the pistol. Imperial won no pistols in this series, by the way, just for everybody playing at home. There was 6-0 in stage 2 for pistols before this game, and then there was 0-6 in this series. So kind of wild. M80 win T-side pistol. it's a force by win back. I think Tri has Impact again there. And then they go on a 5 or 6 round run, I forget exactly, on the CT side, where they only lose 3 players over the course of that round, just pure domination. They make so much money over that spread. Like, they're almost capped out. Like, everyone's at like 13K. They can literally buy every round for the remainder of the half because of a couple of saves. M80 then go and win, I think it was 5 straight gun rounds. There had to be against gun rounds. The whole thing was the hardest possible T rounds you could win. Gun round, gun round, gun round, gun round. Imperial would just like play aggro, and then they'd drop back into passive, and M80 would find the perfect gaps. Then in the second half was one of these situations where neither team could establish any loss bonus. So it went like 1 round for them and then 1 round back. So everyone was like 1,400, 1,900, 1,400, 1,900. I'm just like, we're on a seesaw. Like, we're at once, someone's slipping off at some point, and then eventually M80, they fell off. And they had the last 2 rounds of the game were like thrown together buys, like 1 M4, MP9s, 5.7s. It just, that's the worst possible feeling, right? And then they ended up losing, and Imperial booked their spot. So props to Imperial, who I don't think anybody had going through to stage 3. So another Brazilian team, they'll join the likes of Pain and Furia, at least Brazilian cores. So we have a third Brazilian team in stage number 3. So that's cool for Imperial. I like Vinny, good smile. And
lovely guy.
Yeah.
Skulls.
But this Imperial is like the perfect recycled team, isn't it? Like Cello, right? Cello from Furia, but not only from Furia. Like, there's so many teams Cello's been a part of. Skull's the same. He's been put through the ringer. Yeah, 3 of those 5 players have been on Furia. Tries had some good moments, but also some bad moments. Not bad in terms of misses, but in terms of not getting any frags over courses of halves, like just being super, super quiet. But he's good. And they put a lot of resources into him, so he has to be good. They're dropping
he
AKs.
had an insane first. That was the only game of Imperial I saw this stage, was the insane first game against MIBR, where he went and like he had so many like really crisp moments with the op. Like, that was the first time I saw Try, and I thought that's the 9Z Try. I remember, like that is the one that I thought was going to be great.
No. Is MIBR still horrible?
So yes, but here's the thing with MIBR. So both Kicker and Klim are only on loan. So for Kicker, this was like a chance to put his name back in the window. Unfortunately for him, he got like 0 ADR on a T half of Inferno, did his best Monte impression. But for Klim, the fact that he is from G2 Ares, the academy team, if G2 have a poor major and Sampaius is bad, I think that they might even be considering like looking at Klim. Now, MIBR use Klim much differently than how G2 would probably use Klim, because Sampaius is throwing a lot of util and setting up his teammates. Klim's getting everything. Dropped orbs, dropped eagles, flashes for him, everything to set him up for fights. But he was very steady, right? Like, that's what I liked about him. He was very confident in his peaks. They weren't flicky and flashy. He had some that were, but like, he was so confident in his fights. He just, if someone was there, I knew that he was going to get the kill. So I saw some good highlights out of Klim.
That's a good thing to take away. But like, I felt when I watched him previously, fundamental team play, not
lacking.
Not great. Obviously, they're mixing like international players in the Brazilian lineup, communication, all of these things, but it was really underwhelming considering, they had this run in Brazil where they won 3 tournaments in a row. I was like, okay, let's see what these guys have. Don't want to see this ever again. Let's But I was also thinking about like Klim in G2. Obviously, Sampaius, I think he's good, but he didn't have the best, I would say, start to his time in G2. So we'll see how this major goes for sure.
And finally, PARIVISION. Jame and Dustin do it again.
Goated.
Dude, I love Dustin. Like, he saw me in the hall. He goes, SPUNJ, long time no see. And we're talking. He's like, I'm unfiltered now. I'm rebranding. Like, I'm like, this is great. Let's fucking go. Let's go. So I'm happy for Dustin. It's like people who are like, oh yeah, James back. It's the same. It's not the same shit. Obviously playing slightly different, but bringing 4 major rookies into stage 3, very impressive. And fun to watch, right? I'm looking at it. I'm going, okay, so they have this much money and they can do this type of buy. And James, like, on the dark side of the moon, looking at the finances from this like other different perspective and solving the problem in a completely different way. And I love that because it makes me go, oh shit, no, wait, he is right. Like, this is the right call. And that, I really like that when I see people approaching things in more unique fashions. We need to work out how to say this this ELO kid's name. I might just call him ELO because I can't do the
ELO. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone. I saw a Reddit thread where some guy was acting like he just fucking solved fucking
everything.
world famine or something, being like, no, but his name means high elo. It's like, all right, well, actually, I should have asked Dustin. I will ask Dustin next time I see him. But yeah, Nota, I think, had some really good moments too. AW was the one that was a little bit rough around the edges for me, but then he had some nice clutches. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, cool. So everybody on the team has had some moments. So congratulations to PARIVISION. The story continues. It's got some flavors of Starlight Berlin 2019.
Yeah, gonna be exciting to see them against like now the top dogs in stage 3. It's gonna be vibes. But it's like I said last time on the episode. Sometimes you just see Jay making these plays, and you know he knows everything somehow. Like sometimes you watch a team and you're like, why the fuck is this guy doing this? This is the stupidest shit ever. Jay might be doing the same thing, but you're just like, he must know something I don't. I'll open my eyes and watch this with maximum intent, and that's great. And people are talking shit about Virtus Pro again.
Yeah, well, low hanging fruit, isn't it?
Yeah, always.
But I mean, that is also very revisionist, right? I mean, I think James is now kind of recovering his reputation, but we all know how it looked at the end of the Virtus Pro stint. I don't think there was, there was anything wrong there.
Well,
Just,
he was
he's
even
more
doubting
reinventing
his
himself
play style
now.
too, right?
Yeah.
In that time in interviews and stuff, he's talking about having to mix things up. So yeah. I think, look, they gave an exciting, game against NIP. There were so many clutches. I was in the player lounge watching. I prefer to be there than the green room. So I'm sitting there and
that
I'm
speaks
watching
to something.
Yeah, read between that as you will. So I'm watching, and like the NIP and PARIVISION guys, they're just on couches next to each other watching this game and cheering between rounds. I'm sitting there and I'm doing the prep for the next game. I got my laptop and looking at the screen, and then James wins this massive 1v2 at like 12-11. I'm like, oh my God. And then we're in overtime, and there's more clutches, and it's like Wrinkle's winning a clutch, and now AW's winning that clutch coming up from CT. And like, there's a sick game. Like, those are the games of Counter-Strike that you'd love to get to watch because they give you that electric feeling. And yeah, that's what I like watching. Exciting games of CS. It says here, Refrag, Striker Mode, Leaderboard. We already did that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we don't need to do that. But what we do need to do is, what are the odds? All right, let's get into this one, shall we? Prof, what have you set us this week as the parameters, my friend?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh.
We need to figure it out now on the spot.
Okay.
On the spot.
Well, this is a segment brought to everybody by Stake. So last week, wait, didn't we have an Aurora? Like, what chance Aurora?
Oh, it was Aurora, Australis, 3D Max, and Navi. One of them doesn't make, they don't make the stage 3. So somebody had Aurora. I don't remember who. They obviously haven't made it already.
The fans, Twitch chat, yeah.
Ah, there you go.
The kick chat, excuse me.
I had Australis. They're now 2-2.
Prof had Aurora.
Yep.
Well, I was wrong.
Well,
I think we all did under 50%, right? I mean, Australis, I put Australis the highest, I think.
Did I have Navi?
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah, I went real safe on Navi. I was confident. AF. Okay, so look, if people in Twitch chat, fucking did it again. Kick chat, I'm going to get fired, guys. Guys, please.
We're not getting a promotion at this rate.
I have to feed my children. If you have any ideas in kick chat of what we should make odds upon, let us know now, because we'll talk through it. And if I see anything good, we might jump to that. Your opinion matters.
Also, while we're waiting on this, Stake promotion, weekly reload from Stake and HLTV Confirmed. You can claim it via support. It's made for new players. Maybe you want to try for the major, but remember to gamble responsibly. If you want to get $35 over 7 days, go to Stake, register, and go to support with code HLTV.org. Link in description of the Kick channel.
Okay, we need to come up with something. We need to come up with something. Okay, I'm thinking. Do we want to keep it in the time frame of the major? How far in the future?
Let's keep it within major time.
Okay. So do we want to do something collectively or individually?
I think collectively, because it's going to be faster.
I like collectively. Now, collectively, what if we go with the angle? What are the odds? 50%.
Make it this.
No, 50% or more of the stage 3 teams win their opening games.
Okay. At
it's
least
very
4.
verbose, but let me say it again. What are the odds that 50% of the stage 3 teams, so the teams auto birth to stage 3 by VRS, win their opening games? 50% or more. Okay?
Okay. Wait.
So this is more or less.
Yes.
Wait, let me see this again.
So it's 8 teams. And as we previously said, 5 out of 8 of the teams
Stage
coming
one.
from previous stages have won in this major and previous majors. That has been the case. But now we have Furia Falcons, Vitality Mouse, Mongols.
I'll tell you
Spirit,
the
G2
potential opening matchups. Like I just clicked 3 matches so we can have like the simulation going. So like the first 4, like the top 4 teams would be Furia v NAVI, Vitality v FaZe, Falcons v Bates, Mongols v PARIVISION, and then Mouse v Imperial potentially. And the last 3 depends on whether they actually go through. It's like, but it's like Spirits, G2, Pain going up against the last 3 that come through today.
I definitely feel like FaZe and NAVI have a good chance to win the BO1.
Yeah, there's also PARIVISION against Mongols that I think could be that way for sure.
Yeah, so that's
Liquid if they make it through against, let's say, G2. You know, that's a possibility.
That's for
M80 or Passion versus who? Like a Pain potentially.
Yeah, who's playing Pain?
I didn't do. Pain is playing. I mean, they should be the last seed, so they're going to be playing whoever's last
or something
out of these 3. So it's I don't know how the book holds
works out.
but
that's a decent chance. But I also I feel like Falcon.
If I put Passion through, it's Passion. If I put M80 through, it's M80. So I guess it's
that's
going
a
to be
good
one of
chance
those
for
2.
either of those teams against Pain. It's not that I think Pain are bad, but I think that they will suffer from the slow start to things.
Yeah, but it also puts like 3D Max or Astralis there if I put them, so it's not necessarily that game. So it's really open.
I'm saying it's not gonna happen. I'm gonna say 40%.
Okay. Well, I'm going to use history as a defining factor for the future.
History is eliminated already, so.
So Lucas, Prof's gone with 40%. He thinks that the favorites will succeed at 50% or more. So that means they have to win 4 from 4, right? Or 4 from 8, excuse me.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay with what happened in stage 2 and what happened in stage 3 of Austin. And I'm going to use that. And I'm going to say 6. Oh, I like what Twitch chat have done. I'm going to be funny. They went 67. I'm going to go 69.
All right.
That's the sex number, everybody.
But they went 6-7.
Oh, yeah, they did too. Well, 8-9. You get it, guys? Because
so at one point, I looked into this, whether there's any truth in warm up or whatever. And from what I remember, this is like a couple of years back now. So who knows how accurate this is by now. Or maybe it was quick open again. And the rate of winning, like whether you're coming from the previous stage or the new stage, basically didn't matter. It was like, it's 50-50. So I'll go with 50%.
Okay. We're at 32 team majors now, though, Striker. I'm only looking at this year. My sample size is small. Your sample size is large.
There you go.
But smaller sample size, more exciting, more interesting.
More biased.
Therefore, more better.
Okay. But this is good. This kind of sets us up for talking about what's going to happen in the next stage of the major. Now, let's keep jumping around here, everybody. Because...
Sorry. Just Potato Kicker said, asking a chat a yes or no and taking the percentage isn't the same as asking chat for a percentage and taking the average. And now, after these words, I think we should stop everything that we're doing and rethink our entire existence. Yes,
right, actually.
I do know this. We do know this. But, like, I can't actually send you a survey each person individually and ask them for a number 1 to 100 and then average that. That doesn't really seem reasonable.
All right, guys, just so Prof remembers, what numbers, Prof?
Numbers? They're just concepts.
Exactly. They're not real. But I need to do this for myself, everyone. So let me just look down the barrel. Kick chat, kick chat, kick chat, kick chat, kick chat, kick chat, kick chat. All right, it's in there. It's not going anywhere. It's in there now. It's fucking seeded in the brain, man. Okay.
I think the thing that you didn't want to show was something very interesting.
What?
So one of the pills you didn't want to show, I think maybe it wasn't placebo.
I promise you they're legal. Anyone can buy them. They're for anyone.
A lot of things are legal these days.
No, bro. Anyway, not showing it. People were mean when I talked about it before, so I'm not doing it. Okay. Let me recover here for a second. Stage 3 up. Can we talk about today's matches, please? I want to talk about today's matches.
Yeah, talk about today's matches.
2-2, stage 2. That's what I'm writing. Bang! Look at that. I'm doing
We
my
didn't talk
fucking-
about Tyloo. I guess we're going to talk about them if we talk about Liquid. But
Tyloo's.
Tyloo.
So Passion UA versus M80, a North American derby in a way. Liquid versus Astralis, and NIP versus 3D Max. Anybody have any strong opinions about these matchups before we get underway?
Actually, super 50-50 everywhere, man.
God damn it, Striker.
Sorry, I was reading Kick Chat, so I wasn't paying attention to a Passion UA M80. Liquid Astralis, bro. Star ladder.
Yeah. Can we get Vertigo in the map?
Quarterfinal. Yeah.
Let's
bring back Nitro.
Yeah. So
Can somebody explain to me how is NIP a betting favorite against 3D Max?
Listen, man, I don't bet. So
they are in 4. They lost 4 overtimes. If they won 2 of these 4, they would be,
because I saw them be I saw them be pretty equal with Astralis early on. I don't know, but
let's think about the map pool for a second, right? This is one of my favorite things to do is map pool stuff. So both teams don't play Mirage, right? Which means that NIP probably gets to remove Inferno in that case. So if NIP gets to remove Inferno because 3D Max have to remove Mirage, that means that it's probably going to force 3D Max's hand into a train pick, which NIP likes. NIP probably going to continue to go with their comfort of Nuke, unless they want to try and flex into Overpass. But I don't know, Snappy really likes to play Nuke. I feel like giving Snappy Nuke is at your detriment. And then maybe we get the third and deciding map of Ancient. Or maybe 3D Max would want it to go to Dust 2 instead of Ancient.
I feel like 3D Max might go for. But you said they were going to go for a train pick.
I think so because
they did 13-3, 13-3 at this major so far. So
and they picked it in a best of 3, right? So that's telling me that it's a map that they definitely feel a bit more confidence on. If they don't have Inferno, then where else would they go, right? So
I mean, Nuke maybe, but then you're picking into NIP, right? So that's the problem.
Exactly. So I think that NIP are going to be very comfortable with the map pool, but for me, it comes down to pressure for the likes of your Wrinkles, your Kasperskis, right? Those are the guys who I think are going to be feeling the heat a little bit. So I would have 3D Max as the favorite, but that's off of experience. Not.
But that's my point, because NIP looked fucking ass before this major, like really bad.
Yeah, but they've done decently throughout this stage. So I think if the occasion beats them, that's what beats NIP, and I think that 3D Max, I liked, even though they lost yesterday, I still liked what I saw in patches. I guess Ancient, if it does become I think they have to try. But they got blown out on Dust 2, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I would give it slightly to NIP. Also, I feel like the map pool is pretty fine for them, especially when you can ban out Inferno from TD Max. I think that puts you in a really, really good spot.
As long as they don't lose in overtime, that'll be good for NIP. They've lost in a lot of overtimes in these last 2 best of 3s. Okay, next up, we'll go in reverse order. Astralis versus Liquid. We discussed both teams embattled, not of the former glory that we would once expect. Liquid are trying to work into this tournament. Astralis are just trying to keep it together. So what wins? Dead team buff or Flashy on home soil?
I was like, yeah, Flashy. Flashy is on home soil. That is huge. Flashy had some good timeouts. I don't know if you saw. There's some bits on the broadcast, and also from behind the scenes, people said Bro called it, and they won the rounds. That game against Tyloo yesterday, it doesn't fill me with too much confidence, but at the same time, I understand the way Tyloo is playing. It's not really what you're expecting all the time. It's just like, I guess we're just running into the site now. And at some point, it became like so egregious that like Liquid was rotating on. I think it was overtime or towards overtime. Tyloo drops like one smoke on B. Liquid is like full rotating, and it was like the one time they did a fake in the whole map. It was actually insane. And they should have been out, realistically. Not out, but that last round that they won, some of the worst Counter-Strike I've seen between Mercury and Attacker defending the A bomb site on Inferno. You know they're coming. There's 12 seconds left as they're running up short. They take out utility, both of them. Throw out utility. That's completely useless, of course, in this situation. Give away the positions. You know, a smoke and a nade came from the site 1 second ago. So at the same time. So both guys are just to the left. Just go left.
You know what's just hit me?
Yeah,
This is both. These are 2-0-2 teams.
they're fighting back. Yeah.
Yeah.
One.
So someone will make it and someone won't. That's the odds, everybody. Just looking at the veto again.
How it goes
Charles
usually.
are going to ban Dust 2. Liquid are going to ban Overpass. I think that if you're Liquid, you're going to go Mirage, right? Because the fact that Astralis even beat FlyQuest on that map is kind of crazy. So surely you go Mirage if you're Liquid. This is the
Nuke,
problem.
Probably.
Well, this is the problem. The Astralis have lost Nuke twice. So do they want to go into that again? They lost it to NIP in that opener where they won both pistols, and then they lost to Aurora yesterday. They still managed to win the series. Would they like to try and take it to Train instead, right? Or do they feel more comfort on a map like Nuke? So that's going to be the question for Astralis today in my mind. And then third and deciding map, probably Ancient. You know, there's a high chance of Ancient. But again, this is one of the factors I mentioned a little bit earlier, and I think this is key with majors and the vetoes. So bookholes will decide who is the highest seed. So in the first 2 rounds, the original seeding decides who the highest seeds are, and the highest seed gets to decide between A and B. And the reason that's important is the team who bans the last map is allowing the team who doesn't ban the last map to select the side, right? Because we're not doing knives. So if you know that you're going to whittle the map pool down in the final moments to, like, let's just say in this example, it's a bad example for this game, but let's just say it was Overpass and Train, and you know that the vid is going to go there, then maybe you're okay with letting them pick either Overpass or Train, and you know that you're going to get the CT side start on that final moment, right? So I think it's a fun veto conversation to have, for sure. But in this one, part of me wants Liquid to do it, right? Because I feel like they should be better than the results here. Like so they lost the best of ones, okay? And they lost them pretty badly, 13-7, 13-3. Whereas Astralis didn't lose them in such a poor fashion. It was 13-10, 13-11. But PARIVISION and Bait are both through. M80 and NIP are not. So read into that as you will. Predictions?
Slightly for Liquid for me.
Seeing them so far, I mean, they've been struggling against a lot worse teams than Astralis have. So like that's making me feel towards Astralis. If you asked me before this, like if it was an opening game, I would always go Liquid. But after seeing Liquid so far, I'm not so sure. So I think Astralis.
Okay, so I get the deciding vote.
Yeah. Flipping a coin.
I don't have a coin.
What do you have, Chad?
Nothing really. A hairdryer.
Okay. Well, pick a number between 0 and 1.
Okay. I'm gonna pick a number. I'm gonna pick. No.
I'm thinking. So
yeah,
I have numbers assigned for the teams. So
I pick my number.
Okay.
But couldn't you
so
just
0.
lie?
No, you need to say
no. Oh, sorry, I have to say it. I picked 0.
That's Liquid.
Okay. There you go. I didn't pick it, everybody. Striker did. Okay. Finally, the first game of the day. This is the one I'll be on the desk, guys. Wait for the analyst segment of the century.
Why are you doing a desk?
The long and the short is today only 3 casting pairs can cast, and we're contracted for all workdays.
So, okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Who are you on the desk with?
Me and Machine.
Oh, we're hosting or
no, he's an analyst too. Don't you worry about
that. Oh, okay, that's a new one.
I think Freya's hosting. So we're gonna have some fun. But guys, I used to be an analyst. It'll all be fine.
A full English speaking channel, channel desk. Whatever.
I'll bring my passport.
Channel. There you go.
Yeah. So
actually, technically full British. Yeah.
Yeah, in a way. Okay, I didn't bring my esports award for when I was analyst of the year, so you guys will just have to believe me that I used to do it. Or for all you new viewers. Let's jump into this final one, which is quite interesting. JT has not won a game on Mirage up until their victory against MIBR since 2022. He has played about 7 Mirages in 3 years. In 2024, he didn't play a single Mirage. So they played it 3 times this year. I think he played it 4 or 5 times in 2023. I'll have to go through. I have to do my prep, because I just woke up, I had breakfast, and now we're here. But
they played a lot before. Okay, I was just like, it's not like he's never played
2022 and earlier. But mate, like that's 3 years, and we're in a new game, right? Like it's been a long time. It's been their permaban on complexity for a very long time. So it's also M80's best map. I know they lost it, and their 13 map streak got ended yesterday. But M80 will surely pick it again today. So I feel that right there is a massive boon for M80 in this one. And now Passion have shifted their ban to Ancient. So Ancient's going to go out. Nuke's going to go out for M80. That's going to allow M80 to pick into Mirage. And then I don't know where JT wants to take it, but I was surprised to see Imperial not go for the punish yesterday of Overpass, which is a map that M80 is 0-4 for in the last 3 months. So in terms of this game being a head-to-head, North America wins no matter what because they get a team in the next stage. That's great. Good job to North America in a way. But out of the 10 players in the server, only 5 of them are actually from North America. That's a cappuccino. A frothy cappuccino right there. So yeah, I was just looking at some of the particulars. I think it's a kind of a fun matchup. Like if we're going player for player, you guys are getting a preview of the death segment right now. It's like Lake versus Kavem, right? Because Grim does some, not always, but doing some anchor work on some CT sides like Mirage. He's anchoring A. So you're going to have JT plays short, right? Because Nyx plays B, I'm pretty sure. That's what was happening. Or was JT playing B and Nyx was playing short? Either way. Hauser up against Slacks, 2 import AWPers, 2 import in-game leaders, JT versus Sin. Right? There's lots of fun little nuggets to get into this year. They'll be in the stage setup, so Lake's family will be there watching. It's going to be tough to pick this one because they haven't played a head-to-head of core since 2024. The rosters were different. That was back in Shanghai in the RMRs where Complexity beat M80. M80 dropped down to like that 7th place decider and played against Furier and lost and didn't make the major. So there's only the 2nd major for Lake and Swisher. And Sin and Slacks are looking to return to the top 16 for the first time since Rio, where they were a part of Sprout and Big, respectively. There you go, guys. There's the death segment. Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you. It was great.
You've done your prep.
Now, casters, take it away.
And over to Harry and Hugo. My voice is fucked. Okay, who are we predicting? Let's have some throwaway predictions, and then I got to get out of here.
Passion.
You said it with such passion.
M80.
I don't know if you noticed, but Martin is in the chat. He's telling me to hurry up because we have a meeting at 12, and now it's 12:08. So
sorry, Martin.
I'm also gonna get fired.
Sorry, Martin. In kick chat, Striker, what'd you say?
I said M80.
I'll go with M80 as well, just because I've casted more of their games.
I've seen more of their games too, so that's also part of it.
They also look less frustrated than Passion do.
Fair.
Okay, everybody. Well, stage 3 is up next. Unfortunately, we don't have time to really go over too many of the particulars, but that's where the big dogs will be. Next week, between stage 3 and the playoffs, we will pick a better time slot and we'll have more time. And maybe we could even work on a guest of some variety, depending on the day we pick, depending on when Striker and Prof travel. I just wanted to say thank you for everybody who has tuned in early in the morning. Maybe it's good in the time zone where you are. A big shout out as well to our sponsors, Stake and Refrag, and we are streaming exclusively on Kick to get the live and direct access to this. And if you want to watch it, you can catch it on YouTube. You can listen on Spotify. It's available on a whole bunch of different platforms. A big thank you to Prof, Striker, and Lucas for getting up early and doing this based on my schedule. It's helping out to be able to get the show to all of you at home. So thanks to everybody. Appreciate the people around you. And this is Counter-Strike. This is the conclusion of 2025. We'll be back next week with another episode. Have a good day. Enjoy the major. Goodbye.
Ever wanted to try Refrag? Well, now you can. For the viewers of HLTV Confirmed, you can claim a 1-week free trial for the world's best CS2 training platform, letting you try out all of our features, like the Refrag Coach, which will analyze your games and give you a personalized training plan. You can also try out Challenger, an all-new game mode, which will test your retake abilities in realistic in-game scenarios. Try Refrag today for free using the link in the description.
You're a CS player and you won a major. It's not something people can take away from you, you know?
No matter what would have happened in that tournament, I'm glad I got benched.
It's just hard, you know, like when I look back at this image, all I see is that I failed.
When Device decided to quit the team, that was like the nail in the coffin.
Okay, this is where I want to be, this is where my place should be.
You know, if I could trade in all the trophies to just have my father back, that would be a fair trade.